Anyway, the teams are ready to go. We're ready to go. Thanks to Angus Securities, the game of the day on RPH, 11:97 a.m. RPH Adelaide. And to get us underway like he has been doing since 1969, here's Dennis Brown.
Umpire holds the ball aloft to start this very entertaining game it should be. The Bays starting red-hot favourites, and gee whiz, that's the best bounce I've seen for a long time as Big O'Sullivan got the tap down to Ezart, and the umpire almost fell over as he paid a free kick to Ezart for too high. And hello, the 25-metre penalty's back again. We haven't seen it for a couple of weeks, and I reckon he tapped him on the shoulder and said, do you mind if I have a look at the footy? I haven't seen it yet. And the umpire paid him 25 as the ball goes up inside 50, and coming out to take the mark there for the Tigers. I'll pick him up for you.
Is Douglas.
Douglas now, he's got the mouse wearing those green boots just outside the defensive 50. He'll go backwards or thinks about now. He's going to go right across the ground as you'd expect someone to do with a name like Backwell. He's almost gone backwards as the ball is now with Panozzo on that outer side. Still in the defensive 50. Now comes out of it with a left foot up towards Big Smith at centre wing, and Big Jeff Smith takes the mark. Or did he cop one afterwards? No, well, he did, but the umpire didn't see it. And that would have been 150. Forget about 25 if he'd have seen it, as the ball now with Bryce Gibbs, centre wing outer side, puts it on the boot, comes up towards half forward, looking there for Fisher for the Bays, his teammate. There's a couple of Fishers playing today, one for Westies and one for the Bays. The ball at the bottom of the pack, and the umpire, Ray, bumps into Douglas, bounces off of him, and we'll have a ball up just outside the 50, half forward flank outer side for the Tigers.
So a pretty interesting start. Glenelg yet to go inside their 50. West Adelaide have certainly gone inside theirs, but it came straight back out thanks to Backwell and also Panozzo. There's the ball up. Getting first hand to it was Seller, I think. Then Ezard has taken the ball. The short kick there is coming to the centre of Richmond Oval, or Broad Spectrum, should I say. It's now been picked up by Bricknell. Gee, he's been an impressive find this year. He gets around a Glenelg opponent. He has a bounce and a screw punt that goes about 6.5 metres and finds in the centre of Dragosevic, I think it was. But now comes to Seller. Seller with the long hand pass will find a teammate in Ruwalt. Oh, he's caught one around the jar of chutney. The umpire says play on, and a good tackle there by West Adelaide. That was Ryan Bennett, who after last week, goodness me, his confidence might have been down, but the tackle there wasn't, and good work.
Some of the lineups, West Adelaide's forward line, Prokopek on Sherwood, no surprise there. Bonadio has Willits wearing number 48, I should add, not number 40 as listed in the budget.
So there's the ball up on centre wing grandstand side. It was Seller that got the tap out there for Glenelg, but going in hard with West Adelaide. Gee, they look like they've come to play, make no mistake about it. Logan and a West Adelaide player in James Ezard are lying on the football. The umpire will come in and ball it up. The umpires today, Tony Day, Gary Feeler and the Ron Phillip.
Okay, umpire to thump it down right in the middle of the interchange gates. Down goes the ball, rises into the sky as the big coming through there to get the tap for West Adelaide was Bonadio. But the Tigers have got it. The Backwell's got an opportunity. Oh, he's run into trouble. Put the head down. The cop one high there from Munn. He was one of about he was by himself against 5 bloods there for a minute, and consequently he's done a great job to hold the ball in. Bounce down now just on the corner of the square on the grandstand side. Up they go there as O'Connor got up high. Oh, attempted kick off the ground. The umpire's seen a free kick. And they go the way of West Adelaide. Dragosevic's got the free kick for too high, indicated the umpire. He goes out there to centre wing looking there for Haynes. Haynes, who had a lot of touches last week for the Bloods, kicks it to centre wing. And the mark taken out there for West Adelaide. I'll pick him up and... Couldn't pick him up, but the ball goes up towards half forward, and the mark taken there for West Adelaide by the big chappie out there, and I think that's McMillan that's got the footy. He bombs it now up inside 50. Players set themselves all going back, showing a bit of courage there for the Tigers. Was in fact McConnell, but the ball's to ground as West Adelaide have got the chance. The player holding the ball to the umpire. Will he pay advantage? He will. No, he won't, because the Bays were away. The umpire will bring the ball back, and it'll be a free kick to the Bays in that last line of defence.
And it'll be taken by Willits with number 48. You heard, thanks to Phil Hurd, not number 40. He's had his second bounce now inside the defensive 50. He's looking for option, and he's got one, but getting in the way was Bricknell because the kick wasn't good enough by the big fella in Willits. Moore did pretty well. It's going to be a ball up right on the 50 for the West Adelaide side, and a Smithfield crash clanger there by West Adelaide.
Absolutely, just the Glenelg forward line. It's Doldig and Rogers up forward for the Bays. Doldig has Greiger and Rogers has Hamblin.
So here's the ball up just outside 50 for the Bloods. They're going to the northern end of Broad Spectrum. Grand Central says we've gone 4 and a bit minutes. There's the quick give to Izzard. Izzard bombs it inside 50, looking for some tall timber. Going up was Bonadio, and Willits it was conceding the behind. Also involved there was Prokopek and Sherwood for the Tigers. So it's a behind on the score. That is the first score on the RPH footy scoreboard. The Bay's a point. West Adelaide yet to score.
Yeah, good play by Sherwood there to get a fist to the ball. As I think it was Douglas that kicked the ball out to Bryce Gibbs. He goes up there to centre wing, and there's Douglas. So he couldn't have kicked it out. He's not that quick. As the ball is now at centre wing on the outer side, as he goes bang with the right boot up towards the half-forward flank. Trying to run onto the base there was Mitchell, but the ball hit his ankles and has gone out of bounds there. Half-forward flank outer side for the Tigers.
Yeah, so the boundary line throwing, as you heard Dennis Brown say, on the outer of Broad Spectrum Oval. 5 minutes gone, thanks to Grand Central on the RPH. Angus Securities game of the day. There's Douglas. Goodness me, he did that too easy. Got the quick kick away just inside 50. And there's a mark being taken. I think that's Bricknell or Bennett. He's taken a one-hander and did it beautifully because he's rebounded from 50 and found Piacente. He plays on immediately and gives by hand to Haynes. Haynes with the left foot kick is absolutely superb.
Yeah,
and taking the mark is Hollands, indeed, the new Channel 9 employee in South Australia, Hollands. He wheels around onto the right boot, goes inside 50, but the leading Prokopek is intercepted by McConnell. McConnell plays on immediately, has now a bounce as he rebounds from 50. He goes with the right boot, looking for a player there in Ruwait. Ruwait takes the mark on the second grab, and he's on centre wing grandstand side for the Bays. He's looking for options. There's a lot of players in between both attacking 50s, but Ruwalt now goes for looking for an option. And Logan flying from behind. Gee, it was a good leap. He did well. The second effort on the ground was good. He handballs to Moore. He takes it one-handed. He goes by the right boot inside 50, looking for the Mouse and the fluorescent green boots. The Mouse, gee, went in hard, and so did Jericho. The Mouse, how did he do that? Goodness me, he's handballed to Rogers, who's in the forward pocket. What's he going to do? Oh, he's put it through. What a goal by the Bays. A PDK highlight. The Tigers faithful have gone berserk, and Phil Hurden, great finish by Rogers, but the work by Backwell was sensational.
Yeah, great effort, number 2 to number 23. And Rogers last year in his 18 games only kicked 3 goals, was mainly used as a defender. He's gone up forward. He's the Bays' leading goal scorer with 16. Kicked 5 against the Doggies on Easter Saturday, and with accuracy and poise under pressure like that kick, which was a sensational grabber soccer goal, you can see why they've moved him up forward. And first blood to the Bays at Broad Spectrum. 6 minutes gone, thanks to Grand Central.
Yeah, no, great goal. It was almost a check side along the ground. A kick that he virtually had to try, and it came off. It was a beauty. But great work by Backwell. He got out of a hole that only a mouse could have got out of, as the ball now goes through Haynes by West Adelaide, through half forward, up inside the 50. Player Sepulveda getting rid of his opponent there with Bonadio, but it comes down here to Willits for the Tigers. He'll put it on the boot towards the back pocket. He's looking there for Panozzo, and Panozzo just take it inside the boundary line on his chest. Still in a defensive 50. He's got support there from his teammate Ty Allen, who takes the mark right on the 50. Breaks away now. Will come grandstand side. He's had 2 bounces. Comes inboard now. Gives it to Sherwood. Great back up there by Paul Sherwood as he puts it on the boot now towards centre wing. Up they go. McConnell gets it over to Benny Moore. Benny Moore will chip it short. There's a couple of Tigers. One of those is Douglas, who tried a one-hander, didn't come off. And I think West Adelaide are going to get out of it now as the handball comes away here from Vanderloo. And the Bloods are running now as it comes into the centre there to the player there, and it was Dragosevic. They're out towards half forward. It's in towards Prokopek, who goes up and takes the mark for West. He's inside 50. It'll kick from about 30 metres. Phil Hurden.
Now the question is Nick Prokopek the answer to Westie's scoring woes this season? They've had Wedding in the reserves, who's kicked a swag of goals. They've had Wiggins, who was a hot recruit early pre-season last year, and hasn't shown a lot at league level. And Prokopek, they gave him a run at league level first time last week, bagged 4 without a miss. Took a while for him to get some touches. He's kicked 19 in the reserves. This one from about 35 metres out, probably a 55, well, he's kicked it from 40, 50-degree angle. The Westies cheer squad are flying, the Bloods players are clapping, and Prokopek has the Bloods' first goal. On the RPH scoreboard, Westies 1-1-7, the Bays 1 straight 6. 13 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central, and thanks to Black and White Trucks. Let's move it right around the grounds.
Thanks, Fabulous. Just checking the scores in the AFL. About 15 minutes into the second term, it's Melbourne 7-8-50, Fremantle 2-3-15. 8 minutes gone in the second term in the clash between the Tigers and the Swans. Swans 9-2-56. Barry Hall just booed his second. Richmond 4-4-28. In the SANFL, Eagles 1-1-7. Dead even with Sturt 117. Sturt getting the first. The Eagles getting a quick reply. While 15 minutes into the game at Prospect, it's North 2 straight, Port 1 straight. Back to Broad Spectrum.
So the ball up in the centre has ended up with Ben Moore at centre wing grandstand side. He goes looking for Jeff Smith in front of Jericho. What can he do? Jeff Smith, gee, he didn't do a bad job, but so did Jericho for the Bloods. It comes out to Piacente, the captain. That's great football. Good backing up by Jericho. Unfortunately lost his footing. Oh, going in hard was a Glenelg player in Logan. And as a result, West Adelaide player in Bricknell is down. Oh, it doesn't look good. So the free kick went to Logan, but Panozzo took it. It went into the centre, and Seller, the two young All-Australians, and they're mucking around with it in there. Gibbs and Seller involved, but West Adelaide have balled it up. But gee, Bricknell's gone down, and he doesn't look good. It looks like the left knee, when that clash with Logan was occurring.
And the umpire's seen the trainer requesting time off for the injured Bricknell, and that looked pretty serious, unfortunately.
Sorry, I think it's the right knee, I beg your pardon. Let's just hope it's nothing too serious.
Well, Bricknell, one of the many players that's come through the West Adelaide Juniors, played 4 games this season. And Jericho also went down pretty hard just before Bricknell did, but he thankfully got up.
Yeah, well, just the act of Tommy Logan diving on the footy, I just think it caught Bricknell with his leg underneath his body, and he's done some real damage there, unfortunately. And it's bad luck for Westies, because he was playing some good footy.
Yeah, he's a good player, Scott Bricknell, only 18 years of age.
So a bit of a delay here with both sides having kicked a goal, and Westies, of course, the behind to lead by 1 point on the RPH scoreboard. And on the Grand Central time clock, we've played 10 minutes, but of course there'll be some extra time on. As coming onto the ground is Scotty Lewis.
His first run for 2006 at league level.
Thanks to Stillwell Ford Ipman, didn't he, those changes?
Yeah, that's bad luck there for Bricknell. And the ball is in the centre with the umpire, and he's going to ball it up. As the stretcher disappears down the race, the umpire's whistle sounds. He throws the ball up. Up they go, and actually McConnell got the tap down. Came to Seller, who was going to contest that actual ruck view. Kicks it up towards the end of the square, and it's marked there by Munn. Munn will go right across to Vanderloo, who takes the mark for West Adelaide on the outer side. What's he going to do? He's going to go straight down the centre. Not bad tactics sometimes, and up they go to West Adelaide mark, and taking it beautifully there was Hollands. Hollands will go onto the right boot, in towards full forward, 2-on-1 favouring the Tigers. Out the back, Seller, will he run onto an attempted kick off the ground by West Adelaide there, but the ball goes into the pocket for a boundary throw in right full forward pocket, in fact.
And thanks to Stillwell Ford, but just mentioned the interchange bench before they all clear out. For Westies, it was Scott Lewis, also debuts Matt Craig Sapsford and Daniel Kerr. For the Tigers, then the change bench, Josh Kruger, Rick Saunders and Matthew Reevil.
So thanks to Grand Central, we've gone 11 3/4 minutes here at Broad Spectrum. There's Backwell getting out of the danger there, and handballing ends up with Fisher. It went to Sello, who went to Fisher. Now it's back with Sello, who rebounds from 50 for the Tigers, and he's looking for Logan. It reaches him on the bounce, but 2-1 in favour of the Bloods, and the blue boots of the West Adelaide player there gives by hand to the Beef, and that's Vanderloo. He goes inboard and finds O'Sullivan, who took a half a mark and handballed to Ben Hollands. Ben Hollands with the short kick inside 50, but that is an errant kick, because all it's done is found Brett Backwell. He takes the mark inside the defensive 50, plays on immediately and finds Bryce Gibbs. He rebounds from 50 and finds Panozzo. So good ball movement by Glenelg. Panozzo, he hesitated and he went back round onto his left boot, looking for Willits, who's on centre wing grandstand side. He made a meal of that, did Ryan Willits, and so did the Tigers, because Haynes says thanks very much. The left boot of his goes inside 50, or right to the edge of 50, and you heard Dennis Brown say it was a good kick. McMillan's taken the mark, and he, well, I don't know if he's going to have a shot, but he's outside 50. He'd have to kick it a good 55 metres, but he's not going to do that. He's coming back to Haynes, so he's been involved in everything yet to get Ben Haynes. So he's on the attacking side of centre wing for the Bloods. Inside 50, and the kick, you heard it from Dennis Brown, by Haynes was superb, and has found another recruit to West Adelaide, Ben Hollands, with the number 8 Guernsey, and will kick from an impossible angle right in the forward pocket, Phil Herden, for the Bloods. Yeah, Benny Hollands, one of the few Bloods. There's only about 7 or 8 of them now that have played every game thus far this season. Kicked 5 goals, 2. A couple of bags of 2 and a couple of bags of 1. Comes in now. This should be about 40. Adds up to 5, believe me. Anyway, Hollands comes in now, and that one, gee, that had a bit of a hook on it, only for a behind. So the Bloods 1-2-8. The Bays 1 straight 6. Yeah, but what must remind listeners that Westie's kicking with the aid of the breeze. It probably worth a couple here this afternoon.
Certainly that was the case in the reserves as McConnell to bring the ball back into play for the Tigers. Go short, and Benny Moores created the space. Good footy there by the Bays. Right on the defensive 50. He gives it over to his teammate there who... right smarter there by Piasano. That was an absolute PDK highlight as it ends up with Lewis, who goes in towards full forward, but coming out, reading it beautifully with Sherwood. He's almost in trouble, but gets to McConnell. McConnell will come left and then right. Smothered off the boot. The umpire waving play on as Logan attempted to tap down to Moore. Moore grabbed high. Surely umpire, was he grabbed too high? No, he said. In fact, he's going to ball it up just on the forward side of centre wing for the Bloods.
Well, the West Adelaide side are going in hard, led beautifully by Piasano. He's gone in very hard, leading by example. Izzard got the quick handball out to Dragosevic, who goes by hand to Vindaloo. He's right on 50. He has a pot shot at the goals. What a great finish by the young man. So Vandaloo has kicked his first. West Adelaide have got their second. 2-2-14. Glenelga 1 straight 6. And West Adelaide have come to play this afternoon, Phil Herden.
Yeah, absolutely. And as they have done a few other times this season, the Bloods are starting strongly. That's Glenelga, the best starters in the competition. They have led at every quarter time that they've played this season, averaging 29 points in their first quarter. But the Bloods starting off strong, and Vandaloo, his first game of the season, obviously that's his first goal of the season. And Westies, after such disappointment last week, have come out strong this afternoon.
Yes, and that certainly indicate the breeze is favouring that northern end. That kick of Vandaloo's was a beauty. And the umpire's going to bounce it back in the centre. Down she goes. Big Seller. Up he goes against O'Connell. The ball comes to Douglas. Got a hurried kick away. Ended up with Piasano. He's in the centre of the ring. Comes back to Logan. Logan was had a hand on the shoulder. The ball back in the pack for a ball uptake 2 in the centre of Broad Spectrum Oval.
So correct. Sorry, Dennis.
I was going to say the Bloods away to a nice start. 2-2-14 to 1 straight goal by the Tigers on the RP8 scoreboard as West Adelaide surged the ball forward now towards half forward. It's going very close to the boundary line. Running there and picking it up is Allen. He gets the handball looking for Fisher. He tries to keep it in play. He can't do so. In fact, it was Panozzo. Gets it to Gibbs. Gibbs is in trouble. Well, he was grabbed high and a push from behind to the umpire. So it'll be a free kick coming back to Bryce Gibbs. Just backward of centre wing on the grandstand side. So Gibbs now with the footy. Very talented youngster. He's got Adam Fisher short, and the skipper takes the mark. Just travelled the required 15, I would have thought.
Fisher on Haynes, if that's the matchup, that's a beauty this afternoon.
As Adam Fisher now goes with a pass. The long lead was on from Smith. The Mouse tried to take a one-hander. It came out the back, and there's a player being hung on to O'Connell.
Well played, McConnell.
Yes, he got the handball from Seller. It was a beauty. And a little bit of staging there, but he definitely hung on and probably just a bit too long.
Yeah, well, look, heads-up football by McConnell. Knew he was going to get tackled, hand pass it forward, and take the penalty, but get the kick.
Yeah, good experience shown there and good composure under pressure by McConnell because Hollands is no slouch, the opponent. So McConnell's got it. What's he going to do? He's going to put it to centre-half forward. Gee, the kick wasn't good, but taking a mark somehow is a Glenelg player, and that is Seller, who has been prominent early, but he was up against Izzard there, so certainly a height advantage to young James Seller.
30 players inside forward 50.
And he goes inside 50. Seller looking for Smith, who takes a very good mark over Vandaloo. His opponent, O'Sullivan, let him fly, and he's taken a mark and will have a shot, a 45-degree angle. He is in the southeastern corner of Broad Spectrum. Grand Central says we've gone 17 minutes, and he'll have a shot, need to kick it probably, Phil Herden, from about 45.
Yeah, I'd say from 45, and we'll get a good idea of the wind right in front of the RPH scoreboard this afternoon. And I mean, that was amazing. There was there's only about 4 players behind the kick going into forward 50, but managed to find Smith with a strong mark. He's going to kick from 45, puts it high. It's going to get the distance. It's dropping. Maybe it won't get the distance. Lob's on the line. Russ through for a behind. So Glenelg 1-1-7, West 2-2-14. Did you see the wind take that one?
Yeah, I might have to reassess there. Probably worth 3, maybe 4 on the way that ball held up in the breeze. As the ball to be kicked back in by, looks like Jericho, who's going to come straight down to that defensive 50 area, and the mark taken there by Ben Fisher for West Adelaide. He goes into the centre and finds Dragosevic. He got the handball over to no, he didn't. He attempted to play on, and the handball came unstuck as Seller got the ball, kicked it back from whence it came up. Goes Jericho. Did he cop one high? It didn't matter. He's pounced on the footy and will immediately go into the centre. That's fraught with danger because there's a couple of Tigers there, but the thump away's ended up with Dragosevic. He's lost the footy now as in they go. The player grabbed high there with Ty Allen, but it didn't matter as it comes to Douglas. Douglas will kick it back, and it's all the Bloods across there, forming a line across half back almost, and the mark taken by Fisher for West Adelaide. Now he's got the footy, half-back, grandstand side. Doesn't know what to do.
And Fisher and Backwell, that's a matchup with the coloured boots on this afternoon.
And then he has a crack and gives it all the way back to that last line of defence and taken there for Westies by Greiger. He goes across to the outer side. And the mark is taken there for Westies by Hamlin. Hamlin in turn out to Vanderloo, but I think he might have gone over the boundary line on the sitting ball, and the Bays have the ball half forward flank out of side.
So Logan has got the football, and he goes with the left boot. He'll go to the edge of 50. The kick was only just good enough, but Mitchell made it look better than what it was. He storms inside 50 and has a pot shot, but he's going to miss to the near side, and he puts it through for a behind. So Glenelga 1-2-8, West Adelaide at 2-2-14. 19 minutes gone, thanks to Grand Central. And you're on RPH Football with Dennis Brown.
Yeah, that ball swept across the face, and the same thing virtually happened to Big Smith as well, as the kick comes out to half-back, and it's all the Bloods as Munn gets the handball over to Piasante. He'll bring it back to Haynes. Haynes now almost in trouble as he gone. He's caught. That's holding the footy. Great tackle there by Ruwalt. The Bays have been allowed to play on. Seller gets it over to Moore. Moore looking for the Mouse inside 50. The ball goes over his head. Can the Mouse keep it in? He can't. Rolls out of bounds for a boundary throw, and just inside the 50 for the Tigers.
Yeah, so Ben Fisher and Brett Backwell, the battle of the boots. The Backwell's a fluorescent green, and I don't understand why you wear red and black and then wear blue and white boots. It's confusing for me, but that's what Ben Fisher's got on this afternoon for West Adelaide. So the ball in, just in between half forward and the forward pocket for the Bays at the southern end. It comes out the back to Ruwalt. Ruwalt by hand to Ben Moore, who's been impressive early. Moore goes left and finds Logan. Logan now on his left, goes inside 50 and finds Douglas, who this time makes no mistake and takes a mark. And one would have thought, is he strong enough to have a shot? He's going back. He's going to run inside 50 now. The kicks look strong, and it looks long, and it looks straight. Great goal to Douglas. He seized the opportunity beautifully because no one was back deep in the square, and he's played on and kicked a second for the Bays. So it's even Stevens here at Broad Spectrum, and thanks to Black and White Trucks and Removals, we'll check scores with John Nankerville.
Thanks, BB. Just looking at the SANFL scores. Eagles 2-4-16, 2 goals to Mark Passador, Sturt 1-1-7, and North 3-1-19, lead Port 2-1-13 in the AFL. Close to half-time in both games. It's Sydney 11 goals, 4, leading Richmond 5-5, and Melbourne 8-8-56 over Fremantle 3-5-23.
Right, the umpire has the ball in the centre. So the ball game all tied up here as we enter time on the Grand Central time clock. Both sides 2-2-14 as the big pump taken by Panozzo back to Douglas. He moves well, Douglas. It comes to McConnell. McConnell will bring it out here looking for Fisher. Adam Fisher of the Bay variety, obviously, as he puts it on the right boot now. Along centre wing. Up they fly. Courage there, Piasante. That was a captain's mark, and a PDK highlight backing into the pack. Takes the mark. Plays on immediately in the centre. There's a couple of, in fact, there were 3 of them. And Bloods I'm talking about. One of those is Scott Lewis, and he's got the footy now. We'll play on immediately with the left boot. Not a bad looking kick either. It goes a long way at the back. Jericho, the chance to grab it, couldn't pick it up on the second grab. In goes Adam Fisher. He's in trouble, tries to twist out of trouble. Got the kick away just in time as Benny Moore runs onto it. Uses the hand to fend off an opponent. Got the kick of the ball. It's going to be marked by Adam Fisher. It'll try to fingertip it, couldn't hang onto it. Lewis pounces on the ball, gives it to Prokopek. He tried to give it back to Jericho. He couldn't control it, so it comes back to Prokopek. He puts the handball looking for Holland. Through his hands it goes to the other Fisher for West. He's back to Holland. Now's a chance for Munn. Munn will go short looking for Dragicevic, and he's found him just inside 50 for the Bloods.
You know, Dragicevic has been one of the shining lights in a pretty dim, dark year for West Adelaide thus far. 3 goals, 1 thus far this season, one of the best last week, 21 possessions. Like many of his teammates, pretty busy early, but got quieter as the game progressed. So with the wind, certainly a chance he will be kicking right on 50. And suffice to say, pretty much straight in front. Tied game, so any score will give Westies the lead. 22 gone thanks to Grand Central. Kicks from 51, puts it up there, let the wind do its work. It swings it across. Players are clapping, flags are flying, umpires are giving a 2-fingered salute. That means it's a goal. Westies a 3-2. Glenelg 2-2. The Bloods back in front by a goal. And that, of course, is Dragicevic's first for the afternoon.
And one would expect this quarter to go a little bit longer than normal because, unfortunately, Scott Bricknell for West Adelaide was taken off on a stretcher, which looks like a serious right knee injury. So let's just wish him all the best and let's hope it's nothing too serious and he might miss just a few weeks rather than a season if it is, of course, the anterior cruciate. But the ball is back in the centre. Grand Central says we have now gone 23 minutes right now. We have on the Grand Central scoreboard the Angus Securities game of the day, the fixed interest specialist, RPH Football, the local football specialist. There's the bounce, and it is a nice one in the middle. O'Sullivan and Seller, who has been impressive early. It comes now to Dragosevic. Backwell gets a half a handball away. It goes to Haynes. Haynes with the left-handed handball to Hollands. Hollands centre wing grandstand side with the left boot. Goes and finds Bonadio with the kick. Bonadio dropped what he should have taken. Gee, Butterfinger's there, but good enough to play on. He now kicks it inside 50. Trying to get in the way was Allen. It's come through to Sherwood. Gee, he's been good. He gets around. Prokopek was very good. Goes backwards with the handball to McConnell, who's racking up positions. He rebounds from 50, looking for a player outside 50, who got poleaxed by the West Adelaide player in Munn, who gets a handball on, goes to a teammate who's just outside 50, will reel around on the left boot. Haynes, he goes looking for an open goal, but in the goal square is the player for Glenelg, that's number 43, Angus Lally. Takes the mark and plays on. Oh, the kick just got to Panozzo. Panozzo takes the mark inside defensive 50, rebounds with the kick, looking for Logan, but getting involved was Hollands. Ruwalt now picks it up. Oh, he gets around a couple of West Adelaide opponents. He's at half-back. Oh, intercepted beautifully by O'Sullivan, the big man. Another big man, Bonadio, picks it up, looking for options. He should have gone with the first one, holding the ball, and Ruwalt should take the free kick for the Tigers at half-back.
Yeah, he slipped. He was unlucky there. He was about to come out of the tackle and slipped, and of course he was caught red-handed, wasn't he? As by the way, won the 1967 Melbourne Cup red-handed. As the ball is now with Paul Sherwood. Now comes to centre wing, and the mark taken by Backwell. A quick handball over the top. He's looking there for a big Willett. Willett has got a Guernsey loose at centre-half forward. That's the way the footy goes. And the mark taken there by Douglas. Well, Douglas had a player also loose up there in Dalby, but not Dalby. He used to play for
Rogers.
Rogers, and he decided to go back and have a shot for goal.
Yeah, well, Richard Douglas, he kicked one on the run from here and did it with ease. At least had 5 or 10 metres to spare. This time we'll kick from about 45. This possibly to level the score. Glenelg have not trailed at quarter time thus far this season. And that kick is a rise. So we're seeing them swing a bit towards the grandstand side this afternoon, gentlemen. That is the Bays third behind there. 3-2-3-15. Westies 3-2-20. 25 gone thanks to Grand Central.
So Jericho brings it back in from fullback. The kick was really good and rebounded from 50. It's gone to Vanderloo with the long sleeves on, and he goes with the kick looking for and finding Holland out of side centre wing. He plays on immediately. Gets the lovely looking right kick looking for Prokopek. Surely being held under. The umpire disagrees. Goodness me, but Willits, he goes in hard, so he's got options there. Gets a half a handball to Lally. Lally goes backwards to Bryce Gibbs. The kick needs to be really good, and he's looking for more, but it's 3 Tigers on 2 at the moment. What can they do?
Clever.
Moore did it very well, you heard. It was clever indeed. And rebounding is Panozzo from 50 and finding Logan. Logan takes the mark. He's on the defensive side of centre wing. He's inching up to centre wing now. The kick finds Mitchell, dead set on centre wing, but he's inside the broad spectrum centre square. He plays on immediately. The kick goes inside 50. There's Douglas involved, but also Backwell. What can they do here? Oh, the mouse runs under it. He handballs to Rogers, an impossible angle. Well, that didn't bother him last time. He has a shot at goal, Rogers, and he's missed to the near side. So the Bays 2-4-16, West Adelaide 3-2-20. Grand Central says we've gone 26 minutes.
I almost thought that was going to be deja vu all over again, folks, as Backwell on the assist to Rogers, but this time probably had a bit more time to think about it and went for the standard kick rather than the check side grubber.
Yes, and missed to the near side. Yeah, interesting back here with, I think it was Prokopek and Sherwood. It was almost like Dancing with the Stars, wasn't it? The ball is kicked out, and that is a Smithfield crash, Clanger, because Jericho's put it straight down the front of the throat, I should say, of Adam Fisher. He goes short and finds Logan, and Logan will line up and kick from about 45 metres.
Well, Tommy Logan has covered the country in his football career. Started with Waratahs in the Northern Territory. 3 games Brisbane Lions on the power rookie list. And at the Bays this year has kicked 6 goals, 5. Played every game for the Tigers thus far. One thing about Mark Micken, he's tried to keep the same side in. Did make a few changes this week, but they've used the least amount of players of any club in the league coming into this week. You'll come in now, Logan. Kick from 40. This to give the Bays the lead. If accurate, umpire straddles the goalpost, or at least stands right behind it. And the Bays have blown another one. They're starting to be a bit inaccurate here. 2-5-17. West Adelaide 3-2-20. 3-point margin, 27 minutes gone.
Mark taken by Piasante as he breaks away and has a bounce. Puts it on the right boot up towards the centre wing. Players going back there. Big Willits was there, but the ball bounced out the back. Taken by Dragosevic. He goes short. Oh, it's clean bowled everybody. The big McIntyre was coming out as Sherwood going for the safety. Oh, almost fraught with danger there because Big Prokopek was right on his hammer and tack. And he forced it through for a minor score, and McConnell to bring it back into play for the Tigers.
So McConnell with the long sleeves, and number 33 rebounds from 50 beautifully with the kick and finds Seller, who has been involved in a lot of action today. He certainly is rucking one out at the moment and doing a good job. But the kick finds Ruwalt. just on the defensive side of centre wing. He plays on immediately, and the kick will find Douglas, who also has been prominent. And the Bays are wearing the black armbands today because, unfortunately, Ray Hawkes passed away, a life member. But there's Douglas going with the kick to Lally. Lally goes inside the forward 50, looking for Rogers. Rogers is in the van and pushing the back, yes. Gee, the West Adelaide defender, unfortunately, did everything, but he did almost too much because Rogers has been pushed in the back. He's lying prostrate and looking at a fair bit of pain, but he will go back. And that player was Murray Hamblin, getting in the back of Rogers, and he'll kick Phil Herden, one would think, from about 40 when it leaves the boot.
Well, we'll see if he will kick. He's hobbling a little bit at the moment. Just in the hands of the trainer, just trying to get him. And he's a forward, he's leading goal scorer for the Bays, and usually forwards don't give up a shot on goal unless they actually can't lift the leg off the grass.
Favouring the left leg, which is bandaged around the knee area, so may have jarred it, I would have thought, as he hit the deck.
Well, even if it's not his kicking leg, if it's the leg you use to set yourself to kick, that's almost just as important sometimes.
Exactly.
Anyway,
right.
Rogers will take it. He's going to kick from maybe 35, and the Bays have had a few shots that their forward setup looks far better, but they do trail by 4 behinds. 29 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central. Rogers comes in. That was a goal off the boot, and the Bays are back in front. Glenelg 3-5-23, Westies 3-3-21. 29 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central, and due to Black and White Trucks, so that's actually Rogers' second goal. Black and White Trucks, let's move it right around the grounds.
Sounding great as always, fabulous. Checking the other scores around the ground in the SANFL. Quarter time at Prospect. North, after leading for most of that quarter, find themselves trailing by 8 points. North 3-1-19, Port 4-3-27, the Eagles 3-5-23, Sturt 2-2-14. In the AFL, it's Melbourne by 37 points over Freo at half-time, and close to half-time, Sydney have the Tigers by 40 points.
OK, ball back in the centre as the siren goes. So the Bays have maintained their record, being in front at quarter time in every game they've played thus far with that goal to Rogers. So on the RP8 scoreboard, it's the Tigers 3-5-23, West Adelaide 3-3-21. And what about the scores in the AFL? I mean, they're more up, that competition's more up and down than a seesaw and a cyclone, isn't it?
Have dispersing, we'll have the siren again shortly. It is Glenelg 3-5-23, West 3-3-21. To get the second quarter underway, here's Dennis Brown.
Umpire to bounce the ball. He can bounce the ball, this bloke. There's no doubt about that. Look at that.
Oh,
right
yeah.
up the centre. Up they go. O'Connell actually got the tap down. Adam Fisher was first there. O'Connell went in momentarily. Big Seller, he tried to take his jumper off as the ball is kicked up towards half forward. Out comes Backwell. Also there is Dragosevic. They both collide as it comes to McConnell. He puts it on the right boot. Somehow Adam Fisher's created space. That's great running. Riddle PDK Highlight if he can finish this off, but the ball falls short of Rogers. Back it comes to Fisher. He goes over to Logan, who tried to take it behind him almost. The handball was too slick for him. Back into a pack of players it goes. They dive on top of the footy, and the golden opportunity gone begging for the Tigers there, boys.
It was indeed, and the issue there for Logan is that he didn't have a right boot because he was trying to take it and get onto his left literally as the hand pass was coming. So it is now inside Glenelg's 50. They're going to the northern end of Broad Spectrum. Grand Central says we've gone 0.00. That hasn't happened. We've gone about 38 seconds. There's Fisher getting a handball from that ball up. It's gone to Ruwalt. He's wrapped up beautifully in the tackle. West Adelaide rebound from 50. Bennett it was. Gave by hand to Vanderloo. He takes a bounce. He's on centre wing grandstand side. He goes for Bonadio. It hits him on the bounce and ricochets off to Allen. Allen goes backwards and finds Panozzo, who has a bounce. They're heading towards centre wing out of side. The kick by Panozzo is looking for Smith. It'll reach him on the first bounce. The number 12, the famous number 12 at the Bays. He picks it up, Smith, and goes just outside 50. Good running and a good mark by Mitchell. Has taken it in front of Munn. And Mitchell will probably like his chances, one would have thought from there. He's going to load up from about 55. What's he doing now? Douglas is running around on his own. He ignores that option. Or does he? No, yes, he does. And now goes looking for Ruwalt. Oh, he's bumped, and that should be 25 metres. But it isn't. But anyway, never mind. So Ruwalt has taken the mark. He's on an impossible angle in the northeastern corner of Broad Spectrum, and he's about 40 out from goal.
Yeah, spot on, Paul Blanderson. Ruwalt, 7 goals won this season. Won an A-grade premiership with the South Gambier Demons, aged 16. One of the recruits from Glenelg's area down the southeast. So he's got a bit of a leg to him. And meanwhile, the floggers are out in the Westies chest right, trying to put him off. He's in that pocket.
He's in the right pocket for the way this breeze is blowing. No?
Exactly right. Comes in now with the breeze. Umpire moves, but he's converted too much. Is a behind for the Tigers. 3-6-24. The Bloods are 3-3-21.
Jericho with the footy to bring it back into play for the Bloods. All options filled at the moment by the Tigers, so he'll bring it to the grandstand side. In fact, kicked it to himself and almost lost it and then grabbed it again as he thumps the ball to the grandstand side. Big pack of players are going to fly here. Across came Big O'Connell for West. He's got the fist of the ball and forced it over the boundary line for a throw. And half-forward flank grandstand side for the Tigers. If you've just tuned in, the clock is not working.
Actually, I can tell you the Grand Central, it's at 2.5 minutes in.
Okay, and the Tigers 3-6-24 lead. The Bloods 3-3-21. As Big O'Connell again got a fist to the ball. First there was Adam Fisher, but the ball's too quick for him. He goes over the boundary line. O'Sullivan was the player. Got the tap there for West Adelaide. As the boundary umpire to throw it back in again. Back it comes spinning into play. Seller and O'Sullivan over the top, got it down looking for Izzard, couldn't take the ball out, squeezes out the back. Logan with the speed gathered it in, but to tell you what, O'Sullivan showed amazing pace for a big man, has forced the turnover. The Izzard who got the handball away, bumped into the mouse ricocheted off, the ball's towards half forward, almost a one-handed try by Holland. The ball's going to favour him now, if he can get the handball over, he does. He's looking there for his teammate, and that player turns around, that's Oswald. He kicks it up towards the pocket. There's Jericho, who kicked it in a moment ago. He trying to get back onto the left boot, does so. Will stand to the ball. That's pretty good football. Oh, and Pocketpack, a PDK highlight. That was teamwork there by Jericho. He centered the ball, and Pocketpack came through and took the mark and kicked the goal.
Yeah, Jericho is lined up in defence, but he is running. I think his opponent is Smith, or he was certainly at the start of the game. But Jericho's been running up and down the length of the field, trying to run Smith out of legs as the game progresses. But yeah, look, great. I think you covered it, DB, with the word teamwork. And a Prokopec, it was a 2-on-1 contest against Prokopec, but he had the position, took the mark, and the Glenelg player overcompensated. Bang, easy goal. And the Bloods just keep coming. First goal of the second quarter into the wind. Second goal to Prokopec. First for the Bloods this quarter, and they're up by 3.
So there's the bounce in the centre. It is immaculate as well. O'Sullivan getting first hand to it. He fell over the umpire. He was listening to us and got excited. Seller got it over to Fisher. Well, Seller didn't get it over to Fisher. It ended up with Fisher, who's in the centre. He's been legged and standing the mark is O'Sullivan. Fisher has got a loose man, Douglas, who takes it right on 50. On the northeastern side of Broad Spectrum Oval. He goes back and now goes inside 50 looking for Doldig. The option was pretty poor, but Doldig apparently beat 3 Bloods, but they're going to mop up now because Munn's involved, and also Piacente goes backwards and finds Haynes. Haynes will rebound from 50, but it's gone out of bounds on the full again. They did that exactly down the other end, West Adelaide, so Ben Moore has got it. A Smithfield crash clanger again by West Adelaide. And the Anchor Securities game of the day, the Bays are looking to break away game with the breeze. Moore went backwards, and that was terrible. Another Smithfield crash clanger. Izzard trying to get away, but he's tackled well. Also involved there is Allen looking for Piacente, who was being held, one would have thought, but the ball has now gone out of bounds. Centre wing out of side. Grand Central says we've gone about 4 3/4 minutes, and the RPH footy scoreboard 3 points the margin to the Bloods.
Well, there was a Bay player leading in the 50, well clear of his opponent, and he opted to come backwards, and that was fraught with danger and ended up being a Smithfield crash clanger. Because now there's a boundary throw in centre wing out of side. O'Connor and Seller. O'Connor certainly get his hands to the ball in this quarter as it comes here to, I think it looked like Mitchell, who got the right boot to the ball up towards half forward. That's a good mark across half back taken for the Bloods by Bennett. He'll bring the ball out here to Vanderloo on the grandstand side. He takes off, painted the handball. Then they got caught. It was a pretty good tackle by the Mounts. Westie's in a bit of trouble. No, Vanderloo will pick it up and give it out here to Fisher for West Adelaide. He'll come centre wing and find Hollands, who takes the mark in front of McConnell. So Holland now, Benny Hollands with the footy. Just backward of centre wing, grandstand side. Westies lifting to the occasion, kicking against the breeze that comes up towards the centre wing, and there's Vanderloo in front of the Mouse, takes the mark, immediately plays on the kicks off the side of the boot. Though another Smithfield crash clanger has allowed the Bays to take possession of the footy. It'll be Panozzo to take the kick.
And should mention the Mouse, of course, is Brett Backwell, who knows Richmond Oval very well because he used to play here for Westies.
So the Mouse has been pretty quiet today. So as a result of that, out of bounds
his
on the
boots are doing all the talking.
They are. Panozzo goes with the kick. It comes to Doldig. Doldig goes by hand to the captain, to Logan, who goes by hand to Fisher. Gets a long bomb that's going to miss to the near side. So the Bay certainly paying with inaccuracy. 3-7-25. West Adelaide not paying with inaccuracy. 4-3-27 are in front. Grand Central says we've gone about 6 minutes.
Okay, ball to be brought back in. It'll be handed over to Jericho. He's on the last line of defence for Westies, obviously. If he's bringing the ball back into play, he's looking to the outer side. Last time he came grandstand side, he's going to do it again. Looking there for Big O'Connell. Up they go, and thump from behind by Stella. But Westies, he got possession. Vanderloo certainly had a few touches. He's got the ball at half back. Oh, great smother by Backwell. The ball was on its way, and Backwell just got the hands up in time to smother it over the boundary line for a throw-in. Big O'Sullivan and again Seller will contest this boundary throw-in. O'Sullivan, no, from the Seller from the left, from the side, got it, ended up with Backwell, came to Smith, Smith to McConnell. McConnell now for the Tigers, goes in, long lead. They're looking for Dolby, but the ball's out the back there, the ball at the ground. Here's a chance now for Fisher for the bait. He goes up towards full forward. At the back, Rogers in front. There was Jericho, the ball to ground. Here's a chance now. It looks like Ruwalt's going to try and kick it off the ground, but he had an eerie just at the vital stage. Westies will break away. They'll end up with Jericho, and there's a couple of bloods on the grandstand side, and one of them should mark, and up to take the mark is Big O'Sullivan.
So O'Sullivan is at left half back for the Bloods, and they've got the initiative at the moment. The Grand Central time clock here at Broad Spectrum's a little bit late. It's now started, and we've gone about 8 minutes. But there's the kick to centre wing by O'Sullivan, and it's only gone so far as Angus Lally, wearing number 43, and the socks are down. He's going to switch play. Gee, the kick was a Barry Crocker. Don't worry about that. And it bounces left, a little bit of a leg break there, and evades Mitchell. He's opposite number 22. Piacente picks it up. Centre wing outer side, goes backwards to Munn. Munn goes forward and finds Haynes. Haynes takes the mark opposed to Panozzo, and he now turns around and goes inside 50. Leading for the ball is McMillan. Oh, pushed in the back. You could have seen that from space. It was that obvious. And McMillan will take the kick, and probably about 35 metres out when he needs to kick it in a 45-degree angle.
And we have a Stillwell Ford interchange. Rogers coming off, and Matty Reeville from the Hallett Cove Cobras comes on for his first run this season.
Okay, well, it's going to be Big McMillan lining up for goal, and all of a sudden, the Bays have gone very indirect. I mean, they're playing across the ground. I mean, they've got a breeze at their back.
And they're having all the ball.
Yeah, you'd think they'd be going straight down the high diddle-diddle, but that hasn't been the case. And Westie's lining up with Big McMillan. Goes bang. Has he put it through? He's hit the post. You couldn't do that if you tried in these conditions. The minor score recorded to Westies 4-4-28. They lead the Bloods 3-7-25 on the RPH scoreboard.
So bringing it out for the Bays is Panozzo. The kick is lovely, and we'll find Ruwalt. The kick rebounded from 50 beautifully, and Ruwalt with the number 17 Guernsey takes it at right half back for the Bays. He goes with the kick, looking for some options. Willett got some good support by Smith, but he takes it and plays on now. Willett, he's got the number 48 Guernsey on, goes inside 50, looking for some options. Involved is Reeville, who's just come onto the ground. Minchell goes out of the air, looking for Doldig. Goodness me, Doldig's now taking it on the bounce. What can he do? Gets around Grieger. He plays on. This will be a great goal for the Bays. PDK goal of the day to the Tigers. And Doldig put through his first. The Bays have hit the front 4-7-31. West Adelaide 4-4-28. Thanks to Black and White Trucks and Removals. Let's move it right.
Thanks, BB. Back here in the studio, I can update you on the other two SANFL games that are going on. It's the Eagles 4-5-29, leading Sturt 2-2-14 early in the second term. And a close one down there at Prospect. It's Port 6-3-39, North 5-4-34, 13 minutes into the second term. In the AFL, Melbourne leading Freo by 37 points, early in the third term. At halftime of the other game, Sydney 15-4-94, leading Richmond 6-6-42.
Back here at Broad Spectrum, it came to Backwell. He got it over to Ruwalt, who goes out towards that outer side. A couple of Bloods there, and one of those is Piacente, who runs onto the footy. Can he pick it up? He's got it now. He'll get support inboard there from Hamlin. Hamlin almost ran into trouble, but got it over to Dragosevic. He in turn gives it now to Hollands. Hollands is in trouble now, lost the footy. In there is picking up with Lewis. He's also tackled. They've messed it up, I think, as Teller picks it up, goes with a sweeping handball, intercepting almost there. I think it was it Ezard? The ball there was grabbed, and was he grabbed high? No, the umpire said there'll be a ball up in the centre of Broad Spectrum oval.
So good pressure there by the Glenelg side after kicking that last goal through Doldig. Was a very good goal indeed. Some also party tricks involved with Mitchell there. So the Bays are in the front here at Broad Spectrum, or in front, I should say. So the ball up has resulted in another ball up. Bodies on the ball. A little bit of a bear hug between a Bay player and a West Adelaide player who were getting off the turf. So it is on the attacking side of centre for the Bloods, and they're going to the southern end of Broad Spectrum. Grand Central says we've gone about 10 minutes. There's the ball up. It comes to Dragosevic. He goes by hand to Piacente, who goes inside 50, looking for a player in Haynes. Haynes gets a tap on. Oh, what does he do? He's done that beautifully, Haynes. Can he pick it up? If he does, he's got Vanderloo in pursuit. That's holding the ball. He's sitting on it, trying to hatch it, and Sherwood is the tackler there. So a good decision there made by the umpire. Sherwood plays on immediately, goes to McConnell, who goes short and finds Fisher. He's right on the top of the goal square in the defensive 50, and he goes wide, and he should find Seller, and he does. Seller didn't take the mark because the West Adelaide attention was good. He tries to take on Izard. That is holding the ball. Wasn't paid. It's gone to Prokopec. He gets a handball to Lewis. Lewis now wheels around on the left, but it's smothered by Glenelg. Goes to Fisher. Fisher backwards to McConnell, and they go relieving the pressure, and outside 50 it will find Moore. He's at left half back for the Tigers.
Yeah, Betty Moore plays on looking for and finding Big Smith now backward of centre wing out of side. Smith now, will he go direct or will he go indirect? We're going to find out in a minute. He's thinking about coming across the ground, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to bring it right across here. That is fraught with danger. Why he did that, I'll never know. It's up trying to take the mark there for West Adelaide. Probably should have been paid to Care, who's on the ground for the Blood. Chance now as the handball comes out, comes to Dragosevic. He's in trouble, loses the footy. The Bays have got a chance to come away now, and they do that. And it ends up here at centre wing with Logan. Logan on the left boot now. Here's a chance. The Mouse has created some space. Now he's outside 50. He stops and props and goes back. He's got to get it moving quickly. There's the lead, and on it'll go that way of coming in towards the inside 50, and the mark taken for the Tigers. And it's Douglas who's going to line up for goal.
Now we know Douglas isn't going to have an issue with the distance, as Rogers having his left knee aimed at, and that kick by Douglas is beautiful. That has split the middle of the goals, and the inaccurate Bays, then you get kicks like that. Amazing to see. Well, that is Douglas's second. The Bays retake the lead, 5-7. In fact, they extend their lead, sorry, 5-7, 33. Westies, 4-8, 28. Thanks to Black and White Trucks, let's move it right around the grounds.
Looking at the other two SANFL games that are on at the moment, it's North still trailing Port by 5 points, 6-4. Probably 6-3 to 5-4 in favour of Port, and the Eagles 5-5-35 leading Sturt 2-2-14. Melbourne over Freo by 37 points, and Sydney over Richmond by 52 points.
And back here at Broad Spectrum, the margin is 9 in favour of the Glenelg Football Club. Last 2 goals to Doldig, and then Douglas for his second has been an impressive player. There's the bounce by the umpire, is doing it well. Seller getting the tap away, but reading it better was Holland, who goes by hand and will find Vanderloo. He's been a good player this afternoon as Vanderloo. He gets round Lally. He now goes inside 50 looking for a forward line player, and he's found that player. And McMillan has taken the mark for West Adelaide, and he'll go back. If he's going to kick the goal, he'll have to kick it from well outside 50, one would have thought.
Yeah, and thanks to Stillwell forward interchange, Glenelg Rucks coming on. He's coming off his Seller, who's a big lad for his age, and coming on now is Josh Kruger, and he's running straight for the goal line. He's running the Bay Sheffield for Glenelg to get to that goal line as McMillan comes in. Kruger's going to get there in time. Not a bad run. The kick, it's going to lob near the goal line, I might add. In fact, it is going to get over the back of the pack, but it is a rise. The mini league prepare to come on here at Broad Spectrum Oval. Point to the Bloods. They go 4-5-29. Glenelg 5-7-37.
McConnell to bring the ball in for the Tigers. What will he do? He'll go straight down the centre, and running across to take an easy mark is Ben Moore. He will bring it to the grandstand side looking for Logan, who's up. Will he take it on the second attempt? And he's going to get a free kick. Gee whiz. Not too sure what that was for, but the umpire... He's run into trouble. Holland to tackle him, and lack of talking there by the Tigers. That was a Smithfield crash clanger, a double Smithfield crash clanger, if you like, because now Westies have got the ball centre wing as the interchange has been effected. Thanks to Stillwell forward coming off, coming on with Bonadio. Another Smithfield crash clanger by the Bloods has allowed the Tigers to get the ball through Mitchell. He sinks the slipper, goes straight down the centre, looking there for Dalvik. The ball pumped away. Kent now for the Tigers, picking it up and turning around as Reeble just come on the ground, but oh gee whiz, he's gone bang high and wide. He didn't get the correct hook on the footy off the boot, and consequently it's gone out of bounds on the full out there, and West Adelaide will relieve through Fisher. He gives it over to Piacente, who comes along centre wing there. Players set themselves. Getting up the hand up there was Mitchell. In there is Fisher. Adam Fisher falls over the top of the footy. The ball at the bottom of the pack, and there'll be a ball up centre wing out of side.
Yes, well, the great Wally Elliott of the Bays wasn't happy with that attempt by Matthew Reever. Lenore should have had plenty of time, snapped it over his left shoulder. All it did is went out of bounds at the northern end in the northeastern pocket So for the Bays, we've gone about 15 minutes thanks to Grand Central. There's the ball up. Kruger is involved immediately. Logan getting the quick kick away. It's outside 50 and reaching it on the bounce is Smith. He goes by hand to Backwell, but missed that. Backwell was good enough to butter up the fluorescent green boots with Backwell, and the number 2 Guernsey goes by kick inside 50. The attention by Grieger was too aggressive, and Doldie has taken it. Play on the umpire calls. Mitchell misses. So what happens here? The umpire says, well, you had the advantage and you missed, so the point stands. The Bays are 5-8-38, West Adelaide are 4-5-29, and Grand Central says we've gone about 15 3/4 minutes.
Yes, and the ball will be brought back into play by Piasante. He'll go to the outer side back pocket, and the mark taken out there. I think that is... that is Piasante. He's got it off the boot of Jericho. He goes to half-back. He's kicked it out on the sitting bull as well, so Smith will crash clangers galore. As the fourth time that's happened, as it looked like Benny Moore's got the footy out there for the Tigers. He'll thump it up inside 50. No one on Big Smith, who goes up and takes an easy mark inside 50. How did that happen? West Adelaide defence, very poor checking there, and Big Smith will line up for goal and kick from 45.
Yeah, 17 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central. Smith with one behind to his credit again, a set shot. Similar distance other end, which fell away with the wind. He won't have that issue at this end of the ground. The breeze is quite strong, but the accuracy. Glenelg were the second most accurate team in the comp coming into the day, but have missed a few chances. This for the biggest lead of the game, coming in from 40, sets it up, lets the breeze take it. It won't make the distance again. And Grieger comes across and thumps it through. So the Bays 5-9-39, West 4-5-29, 10-point margin, the biggest of the match.
Well, this breeze has got me absolutely piccolo fluted. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, that ball held up, and it's supposed to be the end of the kicking with the breeze, Paul.
Very, very confusing indeed. So the kick out found Holland, and that came from Jericho. So Holland rebounds from 50. That's a good mark taken by Munn, who's on the defensive side of centre wing on the outer side of Broad Spectrum Oval. Grand Central says we've gone about 16 3/4 minutes. The kick by Munn goes to centre wing outer side, and there's a free kick being played to West Adelaide. So doing some holding was Willits, and Bonadio, the big Crows listed player, takes the mark. So he will go by the right boot, looking for some options. Prokopek a long way from home. Sherwood right hot on his hammer, but there's Lewis involved at the front of the pack, was a good option. He goes by the left-handed handball to Piasante, who's wrapped up. He's got no options. He gets a bear hug from Willits. It goes back to Bonadio. The ball is spilt free. Logan will be the first one there. He picks it up, cops one around the jar of chutney. The ball spills out, looking for a teammate there. Gets a quick handball. Moore was fantastic. What a throw that was. Who's gone to Fisher? Everyone's looking at the umpire going, was a throw. Fisher included. He goes inside 50, looking for Reeval, who's picked it up there. He's had a shot at goal. He's missed another one. Matthew Reeval. The Bays are 5-10-40. Bad kicking. West Adelaide are 4-5-29. Grand Central says we've gone about 18 minutes.
I'm just staggered by the amount of open players in Glenelg's forward 50 in this second quarter, and how badly Glenelg have kicked. They have kicked 2 goals 5 in this quarter with the wind, and kicked 3 goals 5 into it in the first quarter.
I hope it doesn't come back to bite them on the Khyber pass, because they've certainly had some great opportunities in this quarter as the ball is about to be brought back in by Jericho. He'll come to the grandstand side. Oh, the mouse is in the van. Will he take the mark? He will. Backwell's got it just outside 50. So Jericho's, I think he kicked to him a couple of times. He goes across goal.
Well, they were teammates.
Yep, that's exactly right. And it's Panozzo that chipped in to take the mark all the way down from defence, and he's going to kick from just outside 50.
Actually, the way that these Guernseys are similar, you would have a trouble if you were colourblind.
Yes, a very good point, actually, except one's yellow, one's red. But as you pointed out, Phil,
If you're colourblind,
doesn't make any difference. If you're colourblind, correct. As Panozzo now goes bang with a drop punt, it'll lob in the square. Players will set themselves. In fact, it's through for the minor score. Another point to the Tigers. They go to 5-11-41. They lead the Blood 4-5-29 on the RPH scoreboard, and the Grand Central time clock has stopped altogether. How many we played, boys?
About 20 minutes, almost time on. One would have thought. There's the kick out from fullback. It ends up with Piasante, who's been good. The handball finds Dragosevic, centre wing outer side. He lopes and kicks now, looking for an option there. And Lance Oswald, his brother's a bit of a sharpshooter, and has taken the mark outside 50 in front of Big Willits. In fact, it was his great uncle, I beg your pardon, not his brother. And Lance Oswald has got it now, a young player for West Adelaide wearing number 12. He's not quite sure what he's going to do, but the forward line is very clogged. He's indicating he's going to go long. Prokopek's there, and also Sherwood are the options. It's gone in. Kruger will come from behind and try and punch, as does Sherwood. At the front of the pack was Logan, was very good. It comes to Panozzo. Panozzo goes backwards to Fisher. He will switch play to grandstand side, and the mark will be taken by Gibbs. He's inside the defensive 50. He rebounds with the kick now to centre wing. Grandstand side. You heard the boys say that was a fantastic kick. Smith with the beard on. Oh, he's gone this way and that. that. He's gone with the right boot inside 50, looking for the fast leading Daldy. Great work by Glenelg. Good mark by Matthew Daldy, but great pressure by Brent Grieger, the West Adelaide defender. Daldy's going to unload here from outside 50. What a kick! Oh, it's a goal to the Tigers! 6-11-47, West Adelaide 4-5-29. Great movement of the football. It started with Logan, ended up with Daldy, and the Bays that go further in front. Thanks to Black and White Trucks and Removals, John Nankerville in the studio.
Cheers, BB. As we just have a look at the scores around the SANFL, close to half-time in the North Port game. It's Port 8-3-51, North 5-6-36. Eagles 6-5-41, drawing away from Sturt, who are 3-2-20 in the AFL. Melbourne 10-9-69, lead Freo 5-7-37, and the Swans 17-4-106, leading Richmond 6-6-42.
Gee whiz, the Swans 11 goals up
in Melbourne.
Yeah, unbelievable.
They're back.
They're back. Okay, the umpire with the footy to bounce it in the centre. Down she goes. We've got Craig Sapsford for the Bloods, and he's up against Kruger. The ball into a pack of players immediately. Will it come out? Adam Fisher's there. Can he get it out? He almost did to Douglas. In comes Piasante. He tried to get over to Lewis. He did so. Lewis on the left boot, but only as far as Willits inside the defensive 50. He's been called to play on. Is he in trouble? Oh, Sherwood there to help him, though, as Big Willits ends up with the footy on the old 1-2. He sinks the slip with a high ball out there. That'll bring rain if nothing else, and he's found Benny Moore, who breaks away. The little sweeping handball to find Bryce Gibbs there at centre wing on the outside. The last time Gibbs had the ball, he kicked it to advantage. Will he do the same as he bombs it inside 50, looking for Daldy at the back? He has got the mark again. PDK highlight, a beautiful kick by Gibbs has found Daldy, who'll line up for goal and kick from about, I reckon, just over 40 metres.
Now, Matty Dog, he's either on song or he's not. And we've seen him on some occasions, his kicking let him down, but he's had a few great moments in this second quarter. Probably one of the single PDK highlights, running away from Grieger early in the quarter. And then he did it the second time when he took the mark. Glenelg's last goal about a minute ago comes in now. This to really extend the lead for the Bays, make use of their domination. Give the boy a rap, and he sprays it wide left. Glenelg go to 6-12-48. Westies 4-5-29. 19-point margin thanks to Grand Central. 23 minutes gone of the second quarter.
So Jericho has got it for West Adelaide. He's in the defensive goal square at the northern end. And Glenelg 6 goals, 12. The game should probably be over, and it's not, because bad kicking has cost them. Jericho, it's a long-looking kick. McConnell gets a punch, but it's going to be a free kick to the West Adelaide player in Craig Sapsford. And, Craig Sapsford, that's his right. And he is a giant of a man. And goodness me, if you've had a couple of drinks, that's a pretty difficult name to get out. So there's the kick by Craig Sapsford. Goes to centre wing. Bonadio again drops what he should have taken, but involved is number 63 for the Bloods, and that is Daniel Kerr. He's on, but the handball ends up with Douglas after it went through a few hands. It comes to McConnell. McConnell goes by hand to Bryce Gibbs. He will switch play. The kick is a really nice-looking kick and should find Ruwald on the bounce, and it does. The second one at that. Good work involved by Backwell to get them shepherding in front of Piacente. Has a bounce, Ruwald, and he runs away from Piacente. Oh, he's dropped it, ran too far because he was tired and couldn't kick it. It comes back from McConnell to that player, and he goes to the top of 50. Logan plays on immediately. He'll go from about 50. He's going to miss again. The Tigers 6-13-49. West 4-5-29.
Yeah, it must be a death by 1,000 cuts for Bloods fans this afternoon. Glenelg are dominating and just putting West away bit by bit. There has been an interchange thanks to Stillwell Ford. They're rotating the forwards, the Bloods. Bonadio off for a rest, and coming on is a McMillan. And waiting to come on is Ricky the Steamboat Saunders for the Bays. Just need someone to come off.
Okay, the ball now out towards half-back, but the Bloods have it here through, looked like Munn, I think, and he got it over to Piasante, looking there for Haynes, who runs onto the footy. He does a look-away handball, ends up there with Izard, I think it was, comes inboard there to the player there, Oswald. It comes into the centre now, and the mark taken now by Fisher for West Adelaide onto Izard. Izard got it further afield. There's a couple of Bloods in there. Well, they might lose it. Logan almost picked it up. Haynes goes into tackling the ball out the back. Can they get it on? Izard trying, desperately picks it up, got the handball, went straight through Dragosevic's hands there into Big Kruger, comes back to Dragosevic. Now the Bloods are running as it comes here to Kerr, but Kerr's kicked into the man. Good. He picks it up again and goes bang, but misses across the face for the minor score to the Bloods. They've caught the Bay epidemic of missing sausage rolls. 4 goals, 6-30, and they trail the Tigers 6-13-49.
And good news for Bay fans. Rogers is up and having a run on the sideline. He isn't grabbing anything. That's a good sign. Saunders on and coming off there for the Bays was number 40 in Allen.
Well, a comedy of errors. I won't even try and describe what happens, but it ends up with Panozzo. He rebounds from 50, kicks it as picked up by a West Adelaide player who's handballed it on, and that was O'Sullivan. Ended up with Izard Hamlin, I beg your pardon, it was. Pia sent a handballs to a player that's wrapped up in the tackle, possibly held when he didn't have it, but anyway, it didn't matter because Reevel's got the footy. He kicks to centre wing out of side, and Craig Sapsford is there. I'm glad I did have time to say that, but his kick is terrible and finds Backwell, so he marks that left half back for the Tigers. What's he going to do? He's going to go inboard and find Moore. Moore will play on immediately. What's he got? He's going to go inside 50. The only man inside there is Matty Dolding. Well, he took it on the bounce, but it bounced off his chest. The West Adelaide player in Fisher, Ben, fell over. Grieger picks it up and rebounds from 50 with a kick and finds Vanderloo, who's been an impressive player. Matching boots as well, I like that. And Vanderloo goes inside the centre square and finds, looks like Dragosevic, I think that is, and he's taken the mark. The attention came from Ruwalt. So Dragosevic, grandstand side and centre wing. He goes and finds Holland with the kick. Kruger is standing the mark. Holland plays on immediately, goes inside 50, looking for an option, but Big Willis with a big beard and the big fist punches it out of bounds. Grand Central says we've gone about 26 minutes.
That's just what I was about to say.
Sorry,
Well, I would say about 27 thanks to Grand Central. Only 4 goals scored this quarter and plenty of behinds.
Boundary umpire to throw it back, half forward flank for the Bloods. Back it comes not Craig Sapford, it was actually Jericho up against Kruger. Kruger takes the ball. Great athleticism for a big man. Got the handball to Fisher, his teammate, up towards centre wing. At the back there, West Adelaide player trying to take it. It's right on the boundary. It's still in play, amazingly. Taken by Logan. How'd he do that? Gets the handball back. Gives it over to the player on the ground there for the Tigers in Saunders. Player grabbed high. Was he holding the ball to the umpire? And against Fisher to be taken by Dragosevic for the Bloods on the grandstand side. So the Bloods now with the footy. He'll go short looking for Haynes, who takes the mark. Thought about playing on, and Haynes now, the left footer with the footy for the Bloods. He'll, what's he doing? He doesn't know what to do. He's got Vanderloo so further afoot. He's been called to play on. Now goes centre and finds Lewis. Lewis dropped it. He should have marked that. Gee whiz, that was a gimme. And now they're going to lose it through Douglas, who'll get a handball over. Now the Tigers are running as it ends up with Mitchell. Mitchell will sink the slipper, comes off the boot, but it's going to fall in the chest of Reevel right on the siren. He'll go back and be allowed to take the kick because he marked the ball right on the siren. And Matty Reevel, who's had a couple of shots and missed. What an important one this is, Phil. Herden.
Well, actually, 19 points of difference. Glenelg have had all the play, especially in the second quarter, haven't been rewarded on the scoreboard. This possibly to extend the margin. Either 20 points with a behind, 25 with a goal. And this time it's a straight shot from the Tigers. So Glenelg get the sausage roll after the siren. 7-13-55. West 4-6-30. The reward for the domination they've had of the play. 25-point margin. And Reeville his first goal. The goal scorers to half-time for Glenelg. 2 to Rogers, 2 to Douglas and 2 to Dolding. And the last goal there to...
That's what the Weed is going to go with in the third quarter. So he's going for height down the guts.
And Dolding still has Gryer to get the third quarter underway. Here's Dennis Brown.
Umpire holds the ball aloft to get the premiership quarter underway as the tap down by Seller. Running onto it with Izard. Got it over to Dragosevic up towards half forward. A chance now for the Blood. Big going in there hard there. I couldn't pick up the player, but it ended up there with Holland. He'll get the handball back out to Dragosevic. On the left boot, he goes up inside 50 as the player running towards the footy. Can he gather it in? It's young Kerr, I think, for West Adelaide. He'll come back out and give it to Piasade. Conceded plenty of ground on that occasion. Piasade's going short, but that's a poor kick. As coming through was Ty Allen. He should have taken that mark. Dragosevic will pick it up. He bombs it towards centre half forward. A chance for McConnell. He's controlling the ball. A little bit of magic stuff there. Ends up giving it over to Adam Fisher. He in turn. Oh, he's given to Big Willis, who doesn't know his opponent was right on his hammer and tack. Just got the handball away as it comes to Mitchell. Mitchell will go up inside 50. Dolding in front from the back. Oh, the West Adelaide player was all over him. It doesn't matter. Ruwald picks it up and runs into the open goal and bangs it through for a great start to the third quarter. First goal to Ruwald, and Ruwald, I should say, and the Tigers go on to 8 goals, 13. That's 61. They lead West Adelaide 4-6-30 on the RPH scoreboard.
Well, what an exciting start that was, Phil Herden.
Thank you for that, Paul. As I think, just looking through my sheet here, Glenelg have kicked probably the last 5, possibly 6 goals of the game. The last one to the Bloods was about the 3 or 4 minute mark of the second quarter. So the goals have absolutely dried up for West Adelaide, and Glenelg just going strength to strength. They've doubled the Bloods score, 31 points the margin, just 1 minute into this third quarter.
Great forward crumbing by Ruwalt. Did that beautifully. Dolding set the contest. The ball came to ground. Ruwalt was too good and just ran in an open goal. Had the luxury and the arrogance of a bounce. There's the ball up. Comes to Douglas. He gets the left boot out of the centre clearance. And looking for Smith. Gee, almost took a really good mark, but his attention from O'Sullivan was good. He's been wrapped up in the tackle by Glenelg Clark there, and that's holding the ball. Good decision. That's Ruwald involved again, so what a great start he's got to this quarter. He plays on immediately. The loose player is Douglas, who should take the mark. Izzard interfered and didn't have his eyes on the football. Phil Herden, do you agree with that decision? Because Douglas has got a shot for goal.
Well, Izzard certainly doesn't, but defenders rarely do when forwards get a free kick. Umpire was certainly closer than we were, and yeah, I mean, look, there was contact on the arms, whether it's in the contest or not. It is a judgment call and always will be, and umpires are there to make those judgments, and that's what he's done. So Douglas to have a shot here. This for the Bays, a sixth unanswered goal in a row if he can nail it. He'll kick from just inside 40. Going into the wind. He's got a huge kick on him, this man, and on this occasion the accuracy is awry. 8-14 for the Tigers. God knows what the score would have been if they'd have kicked straight this afternoon. Out to a 32-point margin. The Bloods 4-6-30.
Jericho to bring the ball back into play for the Bloods. What's he going to do? He's undecided. Looks like he's going to come to the grandstand side. Sapsford is there for the Bloods. He's got the height advantage, and up he goes. Should take the mark. Went through his hands, however. Out the back, the Tigers pounce on it through Benny Moore. Gives it to Fisher. Fisher goes up inside the 50. A couple of Tigers there. One of those was Rogers. And Rogers now with the footy. He's got big Dolding in the square by himself. That's the way the footy goes. Dolding at the back. Will he take it on the second grab? Oh, comes down to... is that Douglas that's kicked it off the ground? It is. The third goal to young Douglas. And he's a likely type if ever I saw one. So the Tigers move out now to 8 goals of 14. That's 68. They lead at West Adelaide 4 goals, 6-30. Thanks to Black and White. We'll go around the ground with Big Johnny.
Thanks, DB. Checking the other SANFL games. 5 minutes into the third term. It's Port 10-3-63 leading North 7-6-48 by 15 points. The Eagles 6-6-48 lead Sturt 3-3-21. And in the other AFL games going on today, Richmond is really being thumped by Sydney. It's 21-6-132. Sydney to Richmond 8-7-55. And it's Melbourne 12-11-83 leading Freo 8-8-56.
And back here at Broad Spectrum, a free kick possibly could have been paid to Glenelg, but it's going to be a secondary bounce in the middle. Some theatrics there by Backwell, who was very good in the fluorescent green boots, and the umpire balls it up this time. Craig Sapsford gets it down, but only so far as McConnell gets through traffic superbly. Has a bounce with the left hand. He'll go inside 50 on the right foot. Looking for and finding Dolding. Champagne football by Glenelg from that centre clearance, and Dolding will kick from probably about 48 metres, literally directly in front, going to the southern end, Phil.
Well, we talked about Westie's third quarter fade-outs, and it's on for young and old again this afternoon. We've played 4 minutes of the third quarter thanks to Grand Central. Glenelg have had an inside forward 50 at least 5 times, and this is going to be their 4th shot on goal for maybe their 3rd sausage roll in Westies. Gee, I don't know what they do at half-time, but they've got to change it. As Doherty comes in from 49, just puts it up. It will fade on the line and will be thumped over the line for a throw-in. And that wind is still a bit strong out there, Dennis.
Yeah, but gee whiz, he got right underneath the ball, Phil. I mean, that wasn't a good kick off the boot. He got a lot of height, and consequently the less power and the height in the ball, the wind's going to take it, and that's exactly what happened as the boundary umpire's going to throw it in that right full forward pocket. Oh, big thump by Seller out the back, but to West Adelaide's advantage, Dragosevic runs onto it. He goes short looking for Holland at centre wing up in front. Good mark, whips it on quickly, gives it to Vanderloo. Vanderloo races down centre wing. The lead is on from Prokopec, and he takes the mark. Good footy by West Adelaide. That's PDK highlight stuff as Prokopec now will bomb the ball inside the 50, looking there for McMillan. The ball pumped down. Chance for Big Willett. Can he do something? No, Benny Moore in there. Bends down, picks up the footy. He gives it out here to, is it Douglas who kicks it up here? And he finds Seller. So Seller now with the footy. He'll go over the top looking for Tommy Logan. Logan runs onto the ball now. He's got it. Put it on the left boot. The long lead is on from Rogers. Beautiful football by the Tigers. From defence to full forward inside the 50. And Rogers will go back and line up for a sausage roll, Phil Herden.
Yeah, well, he spent most of the second quarter off the field. Did kick 2 early ones. Here's the base leading goal scorer. He's going to go for the short kick. Logan's found a gap and he's going to take a mark. And Dennis, he will have a shot, well, 5-10 metres closer on a tighter angle.
Yeah, the left footer, it might actually benefit him, Phil, from there. But certainly the ball movement of Glenelg in this third quarter has been really good. It's been very crisp going inside 50. And, well, Logan, you'd think, would probably have to kick from 40 metres on a 45-degree angle, Phil.
Yeah, and he shouldn't have a major issue with this young Tommy Logan. 6 goals, 5 coming into this afternoon. I think he's kicked a behind or 2, no goals as yet. Aims left, lets it swing right, and it swings away right. So another miss to the Tigers, 9-15-69, still a 39-point margin. The Bloods are stuck on their half-time score, but it was almost their quarter-time score, 4-6-30. as young Jericho has to find himself the football.
The kids don't want to give it back to him.
Well, I'll tell you what, as a youngster, it's a fair way to get it over that fence behind the goals, and this time does it well done. So Jericho now will finally bring the Bloods back into play.
7 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central in the Premiership quarter, and the Bays have started ominously, and West Adelaide, gee, they haven't really done too much at all. And Jericho will go to the outer side with the kick. It's a nice-looking kick indeed. And we only go so far as Smith. He went up the one hand, roving it beautifully was Haynes. He gets a handball to Vanderloo, that was. I was going to say Vindaloo, but it's Vanderloo getting the kick to centre wing outer side. And what's gone on here? I think it's gone out of bounds on the full again. It's a 5th time today, goodness me. So bringing it back into play will be Bryce Gibbs with the number 3 on, and the big thighs like his dad, and the socks are up. So he's on the defensive side of centre wing outer side. He's got a lead from Seller. So the 2 All-Australians played against Ireland recently are combining there. Seller, he has got the mark, well, not much further than where Gibbs was, but he's gone inside centre. Good spotting up by Fisher. He's going to have to be quick. He wasn't. It came off his kneecap. The umpire called play on. Dragicevic picked it up, goes to Lewis. Lewis with the headband and the handball to Piacente with the left hand. Piacente is going inside 50. The kick is up and under, and all it is Tigers. So the blood, goodness me, I don't know what he was doing there, Piacente, but he's tried hard. Didn't come off that time. The mark's been taken by Ponozzo. He kicks and finds Gibbs, who rebounds from 50 with a bounce, and he goes to centre wing outer side, looking for a player in Smith. The West Adelaide player got up and interfered, so Smith couldn't take the mark, but it's going to go, it's going to be scrummed out of bounds, centre wing outer side.
Yeah, and just off the ball, Willett laid one very heavy shepherd on young Prokopec. Failed him, but probably within the 5 metres, I think.
Yeah, look, he bounced off like a rubber ball, didn't he? Prokopec would have felt the effects of that hip and shoulder, I can tell you, as the ball is thrown back into play. Comes to Haynes, off the left boot, goes up toward 50. Sherwood in the van, but the ball flicked out the back. Has a chance now. Oh, great work there by the Bloods, who goes to Graham. That was young Kerr, I think, and he went in there without any care, as a matter of fact. There's the ball's at the bottom of the pack, and the umpire's found a free kick. It's going to go the Tigers' way, and it'll be recipient of that free kick, in fact, is Paul Sherwood. He'll go out to that back pocket. And the mark taken out there by Big Willett. So Willett with the footy. He'll go to half-back up in front. Oh, pushing the back, surely, umpire against the Bloods. And that will go the way of the Tigers. Is it Seller out there?
James Seller it is.
Seller out there, right on the half-back, outer side. You can see the hands of Haynes.
How old is Seller?
18.
18 now. Seller will switch play right to the grandstand side where Sherwood has found plenty of space, and he will run out of that defensive 50. He's had a couple of bounces, gets terrific support there from young Gibbs to keep Lewis at bay, and another missed kick almost by Sherwood, or did he do it intentionally? I'm not too sure, because it's found Logan. Logan will go in the centre looking for Adam Fisher and takes the mark with McMillan there. That was a 25-metre penalty, and gee whiz, I thought that was a bit tough. I mean, the player was coming at him and he put up his hand, and Fisher ran into it, and that's actually, it's about a 20-metre penalty, not 25. That was a new ruling, 20-metre penalty, as Fisher now with the footy for the Bays. He brings it to centre wing, gives it to McConnell, and just barely travelled the 15 metres. So McConnell now telling his teammate to go down and get out of it. That was Angus Lally. Now he's going to switch play back in the centre. They're back to playing indirect footy.
And there's 34 players in front of him.
Yeah, Westies are flooded right down. In fact, one player behind centre, that's Paul Sherwood, as the Tigers go up inside the 50. Off Hanzo, comes to Edard. He lost the foot. He comes, oh, there's a player will get a free kick, and Dragicevic, will he pay advantage? He will, as Piacente gets the ball. Now we'll bring it towards centre wing, and the mark take. Oh, gee whiz, should have marked that. That was McMillan. Had it in his hand and bounced over for a boundary throw in centre wing right in front of the interchange gate.
And right in front of the louts, who show their appreciation of such wonderful skills.
He did, and Logan let him know about it. Make no question about that. Oh, getting a pushover was Douglas. The umpire said, well, that's all right, and involved his Dragicevic. So he goes by hand and finds Piacente, the captain, number 22, and the socks are down centre wing grandstand side. Angus Security's game of the day. The ball goes towards half-back, and it will spill out of bounds. No, it won't. In fact, it's been kept in well by Moore. That kick wasn't far enough anyway. The umpire called play on it. Went to Fisher, who took the mark, but it wasn't legal. It now spills out to Lally. Lally gets a quick kick around the corner. Gee, they've just taken it over the boundary line, have the Bays. But, gee, some very, very poor skill errors by the West Adelaide side. Grand Central says we've gone 11 minutes. Glenelg 9-15, West Adelaide at 4-6, and the chance gone up. Glenelg probably should have put the Bloods away, but the Bloods haven't gone away. There's the ball in. Craig Sapsford gets a tap backwards only so far as Douglas BOG from mine. He gets the quick kick away. Ruwalt should take a chest mark, but good pressure by Bennett it was. But the pressure was too good because he's pushed him in the back, and Ruwalt will play on immediately, and he's got Backwell just at half forward, just outside 50. He'll look for and find Rogers on the lead. The kick was good, but Rogers wasn't good enough to take the mark, and he's kicked it what looked like out of bounds on the full. Gone out, boundary line throw-in, south-western pocket of Broad Spectrum.
Well, a couple of Smithfield crash clangers there. Both players got their hands to the ball and spilled it. One from West Adelaide, McMillan, and then from Rogers inside 50. The ball comes spinning back into play. Out the back, it comes taken there for the Tigers by Douglas. He gets a handball, finds Backwell. Backwell gives it to Fisher. Fisher now centres the ball. Up they go. The ball will come out the back again. Ruwalt's there. Was he grabbed high? Umpire said no. Comes to Douglas. Douglas has seen a Guernsey. It's at Gibbs out there. Gibbs it is. Oh, good mark by Gibbs. The pressure was on from Vanderloo, and Gibbs had the ball in the second attempt. A PDK highlight, Phil Herden.
Well, I think Westies have decided to throw everyone back because there was, again, a 25-plus players inside Glenelg's forward 50, but all congregated into one spot. Free player. And now a chance here to extend the lead. 39 points the margin, the biggest of the game, and it just has been all the bays in this third quarter. This kick will certainly test the distance. Will kick right from 50. Right on the 50-metre arc as Gibbs lets it fly. Distance not a problem. Glenelg had their 10th, 10-15-75. The Bloods 4-6-30, and that is the first goal this afternoon to young Bryce Gibbs as the interchange just about ready to go here. And coming on is Reeville and coming off is Mitchell. Thanks to Black and White Trucks. Let's move it quickly right around the grounds.
Thanks, Phil. Just looking at the other games in the SRNFL, the Eagles have kicked 3 unanswered goals to start the third term. They're 9-6-60, Sturt 3-3-21. Still tied at Prospect. Port 11-4-70, North 9-6-60. And in the AFL, it's all the Swans 22-8 to 9-7. And Melbourne kicking 4 goals to start this third term. They're home and host 16-12-108 to Freo 8-8-56.
Great timing, John Nankerville back at Broad Spectrum Oval. Lewis, it was getting the ball, paddling it along to Haynes. Haynes goes by hand to Vanderloo's been an impressive player. He's at centre wing, out of sight. He goes inside 50, but Willett's flying from behind. Couldn't quite take the mark. It's been picked up by the player in Hollands. He handballs backwards a long way away, and it's gone to Vanderloo, who will come inboard. No, he won't. He's just deciding what to do and taking far too much time, and kicks to Prokopek, who marks just inside the boundary line. That's not where they want to be because he's right on the apex of the 50-metre line in the northeastern pocket of Broad Spectrum Oval. Nick Prokopek got poleaxed, as you heard Phil Herden say before, by Ryan Willits, but he's okay just at the moment. So Prokopek, he looks like he's going to have a shot, but he's just putting it in between centre half forward and full forward. But coming from behind is Seller, but a free kick will be paid to McMillan from the Bloods, and he will take a shot 20 metres out. And to say that they need this one, Phil Herden, would be an understatement of the week.
Yeah, the week, yeah, true. Maybe the season, but I mean, it's all too late for West Adelaide. 25 scoring shots to 10. They're going to need more than just a free kick in front of goal here, but all comebacks start from somewhere. And maybe this is the chance for West Adelaide. McMillan will kick 18 metres out, directly in front. No problems with the kick. Westies have their first goal since the early stages, as thanks to Stillwell Ford, early stage of second quarter, thanks to Stewart Ford, changes are plenty on the interchange bench. Care off, Bonadio on, Seller off, and Kruger on for the Bays.
Yes, and the umpire to bring the ball back and bounce. In fact, they've lost the footy, have they? A new ball coming on. He must have kicked it out of the park.
There's a creek out the back there, isn't it?
Is there? A creek?
A creek that runs out the back, just behind that that fence. That's why they've got the netting up behind the signs, because once it goes in the creek, it's halfway down towards the Torrens.
It's a catchment drain, I think it is.
Okay, well, there you go. You learn something new every day. Been coming here for 100 years and didn't know there was a creek there. Up goes the ball in the centre. The ball taken by Kruger. Kruger will put a handball back to Adam Fisher. He goes on the left boot now up towards the centre wing on the outer side. Oh, good mark there. Is that young Dickie Douglas again? It is, as he plays on now. Goes in towards centre half forward. And Smith takes the mark for the Tigers, and Smith will make the distance. Don't worry about that.
The kick is outstanding.
The only problem. Yeah, PDK highlight, wasn't it, from young Dickie?
Oh, and not a bad mark from Smith. Just stuck the paw-ups, and quite often you see it go in or get smothered or spoilt. Hung on to that with a vice-like clip. And now a chance. Well, the Bay's just rolling along. Here's the quick answer. It took West Adelaide 14 minutes to score their first goal of the third quarter. And Smith comes in, and it's going to take 1 minute to respond. Glenelg 11-15-81, West 5-6-36. The margin has broken back out to over 40 points here at the Broad Spectrum Oval, and it's really a case now, gentlemen, of how far the Tigers.
Well, I think it could be, and it could get really ugly for West Adelaide supporters. Douglas has been superb this afternoon, just his poise, and he just seems to have a lot more time than other players on the park. He's got great skills above his head. His kick is just strong and accurate, and his goal finishing sense is not too bad either. So Douglas take a bow. 16.5 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central. 11-15 to 5-6 in favour of the Tigers here at Broad Spectrum. There's the ball up. It was a nice one as well. Kruger and Craig Sapsford. The handball ends up with Allen. Allen gets the nice looking drop punt out of the centre clearance, looking for Ruwalt. Ruwalt's in front of his opponent, Jericho. The big punch will only come so far as Lally. It went backwards there, but Lally's gone to the mouse. A party trick with the green fluorescent boots on by Backwell. Number 2 on and the long sleeves. The socks are down, and he's outside 50. He's about 60 away from goal. The Bays are going to the southern end of Broad Spectrum. Backwell goes for the kick and finds Matthew Reevil, who takes a mark. If he kicked it from here, it would be a very, very good finish, because we can now feel the breeze coming from the southern end of Broad Spectrum. So Reevil looks, Phil, like he's going to have a shot from about 45.
Yeah, we mentioned that West Adelaide on average outscored 33-10 in the third quarter. So far they've been outscored to mine 36-6 or thereabouts. Actually 26-6. Reevil will come in now and kick it. It's going to swing back, but swung back a bit too late. Another behind for the Tigers. 11-16, 82. West 5-6, 36. 18 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central.
Haynes with the footy brings it out to Lewis, just outside the defence 50. Comes back to Haynes. He throws it on the left boot up towards half forward. Will go over the head of the pack. There's a couple of Tigers back there. One of those is Willits. He'll give it to Gibbs. Gibbs will go with a handball back now, and looking for his teammate who couldn't trap it. That was young Lally. He got it on though to Willits. Willits has dropped the ball at the bottom. He'll go over the top looking for Benny Moore. Benny Moore's in trouble. He's tackled by Big Bonadio. Goes to ground, and there'll be a ball up between centre, wing and half forward on the grandstand side for the Bloods.
Ryan Willits is a big man, 19 years of age, 197 and 98 kilos. Won't be long till he gets opportunities at the next level, one would have thought, because he has taken a step up this season for certain in a key defensive post for the Tigers. There's the ball up centre wing, grandstand side. It ends up with Oswald gave it by hand to Lewis. Lewis handball to the boundary line, and it will be brought back in. So it's gone about 5 metres forward towards the West Adelaide goal. 18.5 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central in the third quarter. 11-16 the Bays. West Adelaide 5-6. It's not looking pretty for West Adelaide, given that the Bays will kick with the breeze in that last quarter. There's the ball spinning back into play. Ends up with Logan, but also involved with their Ruwalt. No one can seem to get a clean possession at the moment, including is Haynes possibly held on to too long. Ruwalt goes back in, does well, and gives by hand to Moore. Moore centre wing. Grandstand side. The kick was intercepted by Piacente. He's in the back by Backwell. Goodness me, he's led by example, David Piacente, today, and he'll play on right in front of the RPH commentary crew. Phil Herden, Dennis Brown and Paul Blandis. We've gone 19 minutes in quarter number 3. A player for West Adelaide is down, and that's Ben Fisher.
Yes, Piacente will chip it short, looking for Haynes, who's made space just further across from centre wing. He'll transfer play right to the other side of the ground. That's Vanderloo out there. He immediately breaks away, puts it up towards half forward. He's looking for Izard. With him there is Adam Fisher. Izard tried to claim the mark on the second attempt. Great work by Izard. Somehow trapped the ball, gives it over there to Dragocevic. He's caught holding the footy. That's a great tackle. The umpire's giving him a bit of latitude and allowing him to play on. So comes back to Izard. Kicks around the body into the pocket. Up they fly. There's a couple of Bloods there, but out the back, it's all the Bays as coming away and kicking it up. Here's Panozzo. He's found Benny Moore. Benny Moore now will bring it out looking for Backwell. He's been scragged and everything was the mouse, but he got away and kicks it up inside 50. The long lead is on. Great pick up of the half volley by Rogers. Did it superbly. A PDK highlight. He'll center the ball there in towards the centre half forward position, taken by Reevil. Reevil back to Ruwalt, who went to kick the ball and he didn't have it. Now he's got it again. Will bomb it in towards the full forward area, and there's a the Tigers. And gee whiz, wasn't that so easily done? And going back to line up is Dickie Douglas.
Well, how easy are Glenelg getting it? They can fumble, they can drop marks, they can miss handballs, but still have the time and the lack of pressure to pick it up and find the teammate. Should mention Stillwell forward interchange. Fisher did come off, and young Kerr came back on, and he was opposed to Brackwell, but couldn't stop him. As Douglas, this is going for 4, and the leading goal scorer in the match will not miss from 20 out. The Bays have their 12th, and they just march happily on. A 52-point margin now. Glenelg 12-16-88. West 5-6-36. And in this quarter, the Bays have kicked 5 goals. The Bloods just 1.
And good afternoon to the Douglas family. They would be very proud of their son, Richard. Don't take offence to this, Mum and Dad. He doesn't belong at this level. He belongs at the next one up because he just shows so much class. It was a missed kick by the Glenelg player, Ruwalt, going in, but Douglas just watched the ball. He was in front, took a very secure chest mark in front of a much bigger opponent in Ryan Bennett and did it well. Grand Central says we've gone 21 minutes.
And if you know Smithy was here, he'd say, if you're a forward, you've got to play in front.
He did it beautifully. There's the ball up, thrown out, ends up with Craig Sapsford. But the kick that was the centre clearance ended up only so far as Lally. He takes the mark and plays on grandstand side. Centre wing comes the kick, and the mark by Backwell was very good. The opposition from Kerr was not too bad either. So Backwell, fluorescent green boots and all, goes to McConnell. McConnell goes this way and that. He will go to centre wing grandstand side and find Kruger. Should take a mark, and he does. And in fact, there was a free kick was paid against Bonadio, and he's giving Ruwalt what for as well. He's not, because he's had a shocking day. That's why he's not happy. Kruger goes inboard to find McConnell. McConnell goes by hand to Backwell. Backwell with the kick has got Price. Gibbs just outside forward 50. He can play on. What can he do now? He gets around Izzard, gets around Hollands. It was goes inside 50. Lally, what can he do? He almost took a one-hander. Craig Sapsford. Oh, and he misses. Would have been PDK player of the day. Glenelg did that very, very dangerously indeed, and that's Jericho.
Yeah, where's the pressure?
Jericho kicks out now to Hollands on the outer side, just outside the defensive 50. Goes short to Haynes, and he's backward of centre wing now. The still forward Medindi change affected there. Coming off Rogers, coming on is Mitchell. As the Bloods move it down towards half forward on the outer side. Can they control the footy? They can't. Goes over the boundary line for a throw in. So just as well the Bays didn't kick straight. This fair dinkum would have been a whitewash here. As the boundary umpire about to throw the ball. Could well be a whitewash at this point in time. As the umpire about to throw it in. Kruger and Craig Sapsford. No, there's not three of them, just two of them. As they go up, he taps the ball back. Wrapped up there is the West Adelaide player in Izzard for a ball up just outside the 50. Half forward flank outer side for the Bloods. They go again. Craig Sapsford actually got the tap this time, but only as far as it looked like McConnell. The ball comes back in. Here's the Mouse. He's out of the hole again, and away he goes. He picks up the foot. He does back. Well, he'll bring it up towards the player there, and Ruwalt is at the back of the pack. Takes the mark.
Good mark.
In opposition there to Jericho. Took it off him, but the ball will come back and will come to Ruwalt. The Tigers are running to everywhere here. Look at this inside the 50. One of those is Logan. He's got a player in Reeble further afield. Will he chip it over? No. Tommy Logan's going to go back and have a shot, I think.
Well, how many open players can Glenelg have inside forward 50? It's just amazing. As Benny Moore comes off, and coming on is a Ricky Steamboat Saunders, and Benny Moore, captain last year until he ended up doing some firefighting training and had to take a time off footy. Gets a loud reception from the Tiger faithful, who would just be lapping this up. After years in the wilderness, Glenelg looking pretty good this season. Logan comes in, aims left, swings right. You can hear the cheers from here. Glenelg have their 13th, and Logan has his first. It is the Tigers 13-17. The Bloods 5-6. 25 minutes gone. And gentlemen, if there was a mercy rule, we would be calling it about now.
You would now. It's like a lot of stepmothers at the moment. It's very, very ugly indeed. Grand Central says we've gone 24 minutes. Glenelg 13-17-95. West Adelaide 5-6-36 at Broad Spectrum Oval. I think we'll leave that one alone.
Cheerio to all the stepmothers. Hope you enjoy tomorrow.
Yes. Well, today's today. Tomorrow is tomorrow. So it's gone back to the centre.
You haven't loved a girl called Cinderella at some stage in your life, have you?
No, but I wouldn't have minded. But anyway, that's another story. The ball up in the centre. Craig Sapsford gets the tap down. It's picked up by Bennett. He did that well with the white boots. Goes inside 50. Was a nice-looking kick. Just wasn't quite good enough to McMillan. But Panozzo, he's been good. The pick-up was a PDK highlight. That's why it started with P. And the kick from Lally finds Willits rebounding from 50. He took the mark and gives to Ricky Saunders. Number 55, Ricky Saunders. And he kicks it past centre wing looking for Kruger. Gee, that was a good mark. Would have been a free kick anyway because Craig Sapsford had hold of the Guernsey, but Kruger has got the gold boots on, and number 7. There's Douglas on his own again. He will get poleaxed here in the marking contest for the West Adelaide players. Punch it away. Craig Sapsford, it ends up back with, a trip there by Kruger was accidental. Very accidental. In fact, I don't think there was a free kick there, but it will go to young Daniel Kerr, who's on the defensive side of centre wing grandstand side for the Bloods.
Well, it's almost grabbed him around the waist, if anything.
Well, that's what I thought.
Gee whiz. Anyway, the ball's kicked further afield there, looking for Big McMillan. Off hand comes to Haynes, does a bit of magic. ends up the footy, will come back onto the left boot. No, the right boot. Sinks the slipper, was a touched off the boot. No, the umpire wasn't looking. Gibbs went up high, through his hands. Oh, here's a chance now for the Tiger. Oh, great smother there by Lewis for the Bloods. Ends up with Gibbs. Gibbs back to Sherwood. Sherwood on the left boot. Look at this.
Oh.
There's Dickie Douglas out there all by himself at centre wing on the outside. He's got Ty Allen running to space for him. He'll tip it over. Oh, he went to do a little kick and then lost the footy, but now he will kick it short to Gibbs, who's run down from half back. They're running everywhere, the Tigers. Gibbs now, look at that, would you? Inside 50, the mark has been taken by Ruwalt. And he'll go back and line up for goal.
Cool.
How would you feel being a West Adelaide supporter watching this, let alone listening to it here on RPH or over the net or wherever? If you hear it Broad Spectrum this afternoon, you've just got to be so disappointed by what the Bloods have done after half-time. And you see, the first quarter they'll come out and they'll be competitive and probably should have led at quarter time.
Phil, this is exactly like last week, isn't it? Against Sturt.
Well, that's right. Had Glenelg kick straighter, they may well have got the 11. In fact, the 100-point victory is not that far off the cards here. If they had a kick straight on that occasion, young Ruwalt hasn't. So another let-off for the Bloods. The Tigers 13-18-96. West 5-6-36.
So the kick out from Jericho rebounded from 50, but it's only going to go so far as Piacente and Saunders, and they were having a little bit of a to-do there. Piacente trying to grab Ricky Saunders around the scon. So it's good to see him on, Ricky Saunders, number 55, and the young man's 24 years of age, playing his second game for the Tigers.
They call him the Steamboat.
The Steamboat. So Ricky Saunders, let's see what he can do. Let off some steam. There's the boundary line throw-in. Getting involved was the player there in care. Got a handball out. Was pretty good in traffic and desperation. Got a hard ball get, but it comes only back to Backwell. He gets wrapped up by number 33, Ryan Bennett. So it's gone back over the boundary line. Grand Central says we've gone 27.5 minutes almost.
The mouse got up and handballed it to who he thought was the boundary umpire, and it was a central umpire. He got the shock of his life.
Oh, it was the nice sand shoes on. The field umpire, there's the boundary line thrown. It was a nice one as well. Craig Sapsford has done a few useful things with his tapping,
clever.
but the handball from Revel was fantastic. The kick by Douglas inside 50 was really good. It got to Mitchell on the bounce, though, and Murray Hamlin was very good in defence. He handballs backwards to Izard. Izard rebounds from 50 to Vanderloo with the handball, and he goes by foot and finds Haynes, who's in centre wing, out of sight. He goes inboard, looking for some option, but Revel getting in the way. But it's in the screen bowl. It was like a bowling alley. It's come to Bennett. He runs now inside 50 for the Bloods. What's he going to do? Well, he's going to miss, and it's going to go out of bounds into the northwestern pocket at Broad Spectrum. 28 minutes gone, thanks to Grand Central.
Yeah, it could have actually got a free kick there because he was pushed fair in the back when he got the kick away, but the umpire said, yeah, we're allowing that today, and it's gone out of bounds in the left full forward pocket.
Well, we're finally going to see a stoppage inside the Bloods forward 50 for one of the rare times this quarter.
We are indeed. It's the boundary throw-in. Big men to do back of battle. Bonadio and Hardy Kruger. The ball comes down. Here's a chance now for, I think that's Lally. Lally's the kick smothered off the boot. In goes Tommy Logan. He's at the bottom of the pack. They dive on top of him. Oh, emerging with a footy there was, I think it was McMillan. He tried to do a military two-step, was it? No, it was Bennett. And he got caught, and there'll be a ball up still inside the 50 for the Bloods.
Yeah, well, Bennett had the rough day, I think, on Brant Chambers last week, so they've gone easy on him and put him up forward this afternoon.
Big Bonadio grabbed Kruger and pulled him out of the way. Now comes to McMillan for West. He's straight through the hands of Lewis. What was he thinking? Now he'll pick it up and give ground. That comes all the way back inside the square and finds Haynes. Gee whiz, that's defensive footy if ever you've seen it, but they've got possession. Haynes now, he got the ball over to Lewis. Lewis back to Haynes. He's put him under the pump, and they've lost the footy. In goes Dickie Douglas. He gets the handball, finds Gibbs. Gibbs away now to the half-back. Gee whiz, what a West he's doing. Up towards centre wing. Good defensive work there by, I think it was
they want to have a fight.
There's the ball now with Ty Allen, and he runs out over the boundary line for a throw-in. Half-forward flag out of side for the Bloods.
Phil, the Steamboat getting involved.
The Steamboat and the Westies captain going toe-to-toe there for a while. No, wasn't Ricky Steamboat, wasn't he a wrestler?
Not sure.
Anyway.
There's the boundary line throw-in on the defensive side of centre wing for the Tigers. Lewis getting involved there. He's possibly copped a push in the back. No, but it doesn't matter anyway. As the field umpire came in to signal it would be a ball up, the siren's gone. 29 minutes 45, the third quarter went. And it's the Bays 13-80-96. They're exactly 10 goals in front of West Adelaide, 5-6.
Here's Dennis Brown.
Umpire holds the ball aloft. He's about to thump it into the turf. Craig Sapsford for the Bloods and Hardy Kruger for the Bays. The ball slips out to centre wing. Vanderloo hasn't been the Blood's worst player. In the centre it came to Haynes. Haynes to Dragosevic. On the left boot he goes up towards half forward. Out in front, McMillan. Can he take the mark? No, he can't. Comes to ground. Picking it up as Panozzo. He's been a good player as well. Gave it to Kruger. Kruger thinks the slipper. Comes up towards half forward. The ball out in front there. Oh, great bit of work there by Mitchell. In fact, it's Smith it wasn't. Has he done an ankle injury or something? He's limping the ball up inside 50 though. Chance now for the Bloods, but it beats him over the boundary line. I'm not too sure what Jeff Smith has done there, but he's limping back here at centre wing as the ball is out of bounds in the left full forward pocket for the Tigers.
And we saw at three-quarter time Wayne Miederman didn't spend long with his charges. They were breaking as the crowd was still enjoying a kick of the footy and a drink of their Coke. And it'll be interesting to know what he said, and I don't think it would have been pleasant. So there's the ball, and it's going to go straight back out of bounds again by the West Adelaide player there in O'Sullivan. So Panozzo there on McMillan. That is a mismatch galore, and Panozzo just did it with ease. The kick wasn't good enough. McMillan got under the footy. Panozzo read it better, and that's really been the sign of West Adelaide's day today. So 13-18, 96, West Adelaide 5-6, 36. We've gone almost just over a minute thanks to Grand Central. The boundary line thrown is ended up with Izard. He handballs back, goes straight to Logan though. Goodness me. Logan has a pot shot at goal. That's a miracle goal if it's gone through, and it has. Logan's celebrating. The Bays are going psycho, and Logan's got his second. What a great start. 14-18. The ton has been broken. 102. West Adelaide 5-6, 36. The floodgates are open, and it now is flooding.
Yeah, PDK highlight that. That was a great goal. Hard up against the boundary line. Let's quickly go back to Big Johnny in the studio. Thanks to Black and White.
Final scores in the AFL, big wins to both Melbourne and Fremantle. Melbourne 17-15, Fremantle 8-10. Sydney 118-point winners, 28-12, 180 to Richmond 9-8, 62. Hall with 5, O'Keefe with 4. The other SANFL game, still three-quarter time, it's North 10-8, Port 13-6. The Eagles, they are 15-9, 99, Sturt 5-3, 33.
Hey, well, over there in the AFL, the Tigers absolutely being thumped, but not here at the Broad Spectrum Oval. It's the other way around because they've just kicked the first goal of the last quarter, although Vanderloo runs onto the ball now and centres it up towards centre-half forward, trying to take a one-handed with McMillan. Ends up with Prokopec back to McMillan. He's wrapped up, though, at centre-half forward. The Tigers are still desperate, even though they're a mile in front. Comes from Sherwood, tapped on by Douglas. Gives it to Gibbs now. Gibbs will go to centre wing. He's looking there for Revel. Revel with him there is Jericho out the back. Jericho, can he run onto the foot? He can. He's almost wrapped up, gets through, does it well. Oh, runs into his teammate. Ran into Craig Sapford, who got the shock of his life, and the Bays have ended up with the footy. How did that happen? Tommy Logan goes in towards Dolby. That's over the shoulder. It'll come out the back to Mitchell. Look at this great football by Mitchell. Puts it in front of the Mouse. The Mouse goes bang. He puts another goal on the board for the Tigers. 15 goals, 18, 108. The Tigers' first goal to Backwell. West Adelaide 5-6, 36 on the RPH scoreboard.
Oh, look, the round is absolutely on, and Glenorgh starting to kick goals rather than behinds. And look, they've put young Kerr in his first game on debut on Backwell. That is always going to be some sort of a serious mismatch once Fisher came off injury. But, I mean, who do West Adelaide have left? Fisher's injured, Bricknell's injured. They've got one man on the bench. Speaking of interchange, thanks to Stillwell forward, Sellers come on, and I think
Greg Smith.
that is Smith who's come off. It is the Bays by 72 points. And I'll tell you what, that 100-point margin, 1985 was the last time, thanks to Paul Ekamaneki, did great works with the stats book. Could be on here, guys.
Well, it could, and Smithfield crash clanger there by Luke Jericho, AFL listed player. You don't expect that. But there's the ball up in the centre. Richard Douglas, clearly best on ground, but Phil Herden will adjudicate in that regard. It's gone to centre wing out of sight. Allen was the first player there. He was tackled as he kicked the footy, and Kruger, the Glenorgh ruckman, in front of Craig Sapsford, should get there first. But the West Adelaide player in Haynes was very good. He just toe-poked it along the ground, and now it has gone out of bounds on centre wing out of sight. It is a long way away.
Better make that correction. Round 7, 1995. I'm going to give a stats guy a rap. I better get the stats right.
You wanted a premiership year in there, Phil, I think, 85. So there's the boundary line throw in. The tap down by Craig Sapsford only goes so far as Saunders, but it's going to be a free kick, and it will go to Haynes. And it looked like Richard Douglas infringing there. He's got one of the sexiest stepmothers around. Don't worry about that, Catherine. So there's Haynes. He comes towards the grandstand side centre wing at Izard. Well, it was a pretty good mark. I think he took his eyes off the ball there temporarily, and he's got it. He's called to play on now. The kick is a Smithfield crash. Clanger McConnell almost took the mark, falling over, but it's bounced to Jericho. The handball now will be forthcoming to Vanderloo. He will go inside 50, looking for some forward options for West Adelaide, but going back is Gibbs and Kruger and Willits. They can raffle it, and they do that. that. Willits gets the quick handball away. There is Dragosevic. He gets another quick handball, but Allen, the Bays have been sensational today. He rebounds from 50 with a kick. Can the Steamboat get it? Ricky Saunders, that is. He's in front of Piacente, who gives him a shove almost over the fence, and it's centre wing out of side. Grand Central, 5 minutes gone. The margin is plenty.
Since the 4-minute mark of the second quarter, Glenelg have kicked 12 goals. Wester kicked 1.
Is that right? Amazing stat there as the ball comes spinning back into play. Craig Sapsford at the back. In front there was Kruger, but the ball ends up with the Bloods as Haynes, who, when he always gets the ball, he goes sideways. That's his immediate reaction to receiving the ball as it comes inside the pocket. Pushing the back wasn't bad. The umpire said that's okay as the ball is still in contention here. Holland gets the handball out. There's a chance for Lewis. The left boot will go across the face for a minor score to the Bloods. 5 goals, 7-37 on the RPH scoreboard. Glenelg, 15 goals, 18-108.
Yeah, so bringing it back in for the Bays will be Panozzo, I think it is, and he's been a great player today. The Bays have had plenty. So Sherwood took the mark, got wrapped up in the tackle by Prokopec, so it spilled out of the defensive 50 for the Bays. Lewis will be the first person on. Sherwood, like a man possessed, chases him down because it was a Smithfield crash clanger by him. Didn't get support with the voice from the teammates, and it's ended up with Bennett. The kick from Lewis was good enough. Bennett's got it away outside 50. The kick goes inside 50. That is dead set terrible, and that is Smithfield crash clanger galore, Phil Herden.
Yeah, Smithfield, no. Stillwell forward interchange, more on for Logan.
And the ball is with Backwell at centre-half back. A sweeping handball inboard finds McConnell. He'll go across to Gibbs. Beautiful use of the footy by the Tigers. Gibbs goes long, looking for Doldig. Evil came across the face of the pack. That was courage. Ended up with Doldig, who does an amazing handball. Look at Fisher. No, it's Steamboat. And he kicks it into Walt's full forward. This will be another go. A big Talent runs onto it. And through it goes for a sausage roll to the Tigers. 16 goals, 18. They're sailing away, the Tigers. That's 112. Westies 5-7-37. Back to the studio for some more scores, thanks to Black and White.
Thanks very much, DB. One game in the SANFL very close. The other one very one-sided. Eagles 15-10-100, leading Sturt 6-4-40 by 10 goals. North 12-9-81, trailing Port 14-7-91. 10 points the margin there. Tight stuff at Prospect with top spot on the line. Just repeating those margins in the AFL. Melbourne beating Fremantle by 59 points and Sydney thrashing Richmond by 118 points. Hall with 5 and O'Keefe with 4. Back to Broad Spectrum where it's all the Bays.
Great work by John Steamboat back in the studio there on RPH Football. Grand Central says we've gone 7.5 minutes. The Bays are 16-18, 113. West are 5-7-37,
now,
sorry.
Just look at the scoreboard, 16-18. How can it be an odd number?
Well, goodness me, good point, Phil.
112, I think you'll find it is, boys.
Yes, well picked up by Phil. He should work for ASIO. He gets knowledge about things that most of us mortals don't, and he's picked it up beautifully there. 114 it was. So it's with Haynes. He's outside 50 for the Bloods. He'll go inboard now, looking for the leading Prokopec, who's in front of Gibbs, and takes a very good mark, does Nick Prokopec. He hasn't kicked a goal this afternoon. He only kicked 2 goals in the first half, and he'll have a shot, Phil Herden, 45-degree angle, about 45 metres out.
And Glenelg ringing the changes, and Doldy coming off, and Rogers, who's been a bit on and off this afternoon with a gimme knee, he's going on for a run, so just to stretch it out a bit. Meanwhile, Prokopec, for Westies, only possibly their second goal of this half, and their, well, third goal since quarter time. Comes in, aims left, it will swing across, be on the line. Still a hard ball to get hip and shoulder. They're trying to get over the line, the Bays, which they eventually do, and they've actually got a free kick, so haven't even conceded a score, and Backwell is away.
He's away, all right. The Mouse has come out towards half-back. That's a good mark by Lewis. Running the same way as the footy. That's a PDK highlight. Can he finish it off? No. 2 Tigers go up against one another, and the umpire's found a free kick. Will go the way of the Tigers.
Freddie Kruger.
It's going to be Kruger who was thrown off the ball. I suspect that was a carry-on from the previous incident, which involved Big McMillan and also Kruger. Panozzo's got the footy, though. He's in the last line of defence for the Tigers. What's he going to do? He's going to go short, and the lead is on, and he finds his teammate out there in Douglas. He's had some possession today. He kicks into the man, though, and it'll still ricochet. There's the Steamboat again. Saunders gets that ball over. He gave it to Douglas. He'll come back to Saunders now as he's in that last line of defence now. We'll bring it out here towards Lally in the defensive 50 on the grandstand side. Lally immediately plays on towards centre wing. The long lead is on from Reeble. Did he get a hand on the shoulder? No, said the umpire. In fact, it was Ruwell trying to pick it up. Is Vanderloo. Ditso's got pulled up the footy as he got rid of it. Great tackling here. Oh, great work there by Ruwalt. That'll be over the shoulder, surely, umpire, but no, he's not going to pay it. Gee whiz, normally when you see a player do that, they get to the ball first and the opponent falls on top of them, and it's usually a free kick, but not this case, because the umpire's held the ball to ball it up.
Grandstand side, centre wing. The Bays have been relentless in this last quarter. They are just not giving West Adelaide anything. There's the quick kick away from the ball up. Being held in the contest was Mitchell, but getting the handball away was Hamlin. Went to Vanderloo, and Vanderloo's kick will go just inside the boundary line, right in between the interchange affair. Grand Central says we've gone 10 minutes. Glenelg by plenty here at Broad Spectrum. The Bloods, gee, they're going to have a long season when it gets cold and dark and wet. It's going to be a long season for the Bloods. So there's the boundary line throw in now. Craig Sapsford and James Selleck. Craig Sapsford did very well. It's a big name. And there's the handball. It went to Hollands. Hollands gets it back to Haynes. He can't do it all on his own, but Haynes gets it back to Oswald. And he gets the handball to Lewis. Lewis is ridden into the ground by Gibbs. And good adjudicating by that umpire. It looks like it's the Ron Philp. That's a sexy name indeed. Almost good as Sandy Cameron and Rodney Love. The Ron. So there's Lewis. He's going to go sideways and find Hollands takes the mark. Further out, the angle's better, but they're not going to score from there. And there's a lot of players inside the defensive 50. Only 2 players. That's a one Glenelg and one West Adelaide player in the other 50. So there's the kick now. Looking for Bonadio. He spills another mark. Gee, what a surprise that is. He's had a dirty day. Gibbs gets out of trouble and handballs to Backwell. Backwell gets a throw to Willits. Willits gets a proper handball as he rebounds from 50 to McConnell. They're starting to finesse the Bays, and the kick by McConnell was intercepted by West Adelaide player O'Sullivan, and then he was intercepted by Matthew Reeble. The Steamboat's in there, wrapping up Piacente in the tackle. There's more on hands and knees. It now comes to a West Adelaide player who gives by hand, and that was Oswald. He went to Dragosevic. Dragosevic caught one around the jar of chutney. He comes wide to grandstand side and finds Vanderloo, who's been a good player today for West Adelaide. He goes inside 50 looking for Prokopek. The attention by Sherwood was good. The umpire said it was all right. There was Lewis trying to get a hand pass. Vanderloo tapped it on. Douglas was being hurled. Goodness me, you could see that from space, and it wasn't paid. Prokopek goes in. Sherwood wraps him up in the tackle. It hasn't gone out. That's amazing. Backwell gets it now. He goes backwards to Gibbs, who's at half-back right for the Tigers. He comes to grandstand side centre wing. Looks for and should find a Seller, but it spills to Moore. If he gets around Craig Sapsford, he was away. Craig Sapsford kept his eye on the ball and did it well. He goes by hand to Daniel Kerr, who goes short and finds Scotty Lewis.
Yeah, Lewis with the footy. He's got the headband on, the long hair, and he's got a beard there. He looked like a bit like Cochise after a night on the firewater, but he's got the ball at centre wing now, bombs it up towards half forward, and there's Backwell again for the Tigers, intercepting. That was a poor kick there from young Kerr from West Adelaide. Ends up with Benny Moore. Another Smithfield crash clanger by the Bloods as the ball comes up here to centre wing, and the mark taken by Seller for the Tigers. Gets support there from Adam Fisher, but decides to hang on to the footy. Not a lot offering inside 50. So he's hanging on to the football. He's got to bomb it soon, and there he goes into that pocket. He's looking there for Reeble, but the kick fell short, and the mark taken there by, I think it's Hollands. It is Ben Holland with the footy. He'll go short and finds Izard. So Izard now just outside the defensive 50. Haynes gives him a lead. He'll go back to Haynes inside the defensive 50, so they've certainly conceded ground there. And in fact, he's running back towards the back pocket now. He swings it short, looking there for the player there in
Oswald.
Oswald it was. He kicks it short. Oh, through the hand to Dragosevic. Here's a chance. Comes to Allen. Allen gave it over to Reeble. Back to Ty Allen. He'll run into the open goal. Bang! And he's missed it. Way to the left-hand side. You know what he tried to do? He tried to steer it, boys, instead of trying to kick it out of the park. And he's missed for the minor score to the Bloods. So we'll go back to the studio when we can get an opportunity for some scores of what's happening down at Prospect. The ball is already back in play for the Bloods as it comes out here now to Dragosevic outside the defensive 50. He'll go inboard, and that's fraught with danger because Seller was hovering around. There's Cochise. He's picked up the ball for West Adelaide. Alias Lewis it was. Gives it now to Jericho. Jericho bombs a long one towards full forward. McMillan at the back in front. The umpire will pay it in front. No, he won't. He'll still play on as it's between 2 players. The ball comes out. Chance now for West Adelaide. They can do some. Bennett is there. Can he pick it up? He can't. Now he can. He's got the ball. They've got him. He'll flip a handball over. Prokopek into the open goal. And a much-needed goal to the Bloods, but she's all over Red Rover. Third goal to Prokopek. Westies go to 6 goals, 7-43. The Tigers 16-19, 115. Let's go back to the studio. Move it right with black and white.
It's high excitement at Prospect Oval with the home team hitting the front. They lead by 3 points, 14-10-94 to 14-7-91. They've travelled about 15 or 16 minutes in that last term. The Eagles still doing it by a big margin over Sturt. They're 16-10-106. The Blues are 7-5-47.
Mark Micken really running the interchanges in this final quarter, keeping all his men fresh as Kruger comes off. Matty Doldig after us heads back towards full forward.
So there's the ball up in the centre after that goal from Prokopek, who kicked his third. It was tapped down by Seller. It went to West Adelaide player who tapped it backwards. Now a hand pass comes out to Piacente. He goes by hand to Haynes. Haynes has a bounce inside the centre square, going to the southern end of the broad spectrum. There's the kick. And, well, I can't say exactly what the kick was, but it wasn't good. And there's Gibbs. He will rebound from 50 with the kick. He's come to grandstand side, and he has found Panozzo has knocked up getting possession today, and they've been good ones indeed. There's Sherwood. It's Lally running from defence, and he gives the kick to Doldy. That's a great mark, centre wing grandstand side, a PDK highlight. He goes inboard and finds Glenelg player in Ruwalt, who spills the mark and plays on. Haynes probably didn't chase as hard as he could have. And the kick by Ruwalt, and Smithfield crash written all over it. The Steamboat was trying to catch Daniel Kerr. He got round Backwell as well, did Kerr. He didn't care, and he kicks to Haynes, who takes it half forward left for West Adelaide. He comes now to Bonadio just outside of half forward, and Kerr runs inside 50 and delivers to McMillan, who takes the mark in front of his direct opponent Panozzo, if you can believe that, and will have a shot from 45-degree angle, the southeastern pocket of broad spectrum, and he'll have to kick it, Phil, about 35 metres.
Yeah, just looking at the road ahead for both sides for West Adelaide. They're back home next week. Eagles at broad spectrum as Ricky Saunders comes off and Richard Douglas back on. And we'll give you the Westies games and Glenelg games coming up shortly as the kick comes in now from Bonadio, and that is going to miss absolutely everything out of bounds on the full across the face of goals. Pretty much tells the Bloods a story today. It's not going to get much better. After the Eagles at broad spectrum next week, they face Port at Alberton and North at Prospect. So the sunshine ain't coming for a while for West Adelaide supporters.
Kick from Logan to half-back and marked there by Seller. The player actually coming off of the Tigers was Adam Fisher. The Steamboat's still out there at the moment, as Seller will go back into the defensive 50, and he finds Big Willett. So Willett's now with the footy. Still across that last line of defence. He'll swing it right across the other side of the ground and finds Panozzo. So Panozzo now with the football. He's going to bring it back to the grandstand side. And again, Willits will take the mark. Still into defensive 50 now. Hadn't got a lot to kick to. There's a few Bloods around, but Sherwood in front. Drops the mark. Should have swallowed that. And dropped it. This will let the Bloods in. Big McMillan leads to centre half forward. In there was the Lally there, but the ball comes now to Lewis. Did it well. Gives it to Haynes. He's usually pretty reliable, and he's put it through. Another goal to West Adelaide. 7-7. They trail the Tigers 16-19. And that's the first goal to
Benny Haynes this afternoon, leading goal scorer for the Bloods this season. I think Glenelg have just taken their foot off the pedal somewhat. They didn't really look like they really wanted to take it that far forward. Happy to kick it around in their back pocket. Eventually the turnover came and fell them pretty much in the lap of Haynes.
Well, yeah, but what about the Smithfield crash clanger by Sherwood? He normally swallows those.
Not wrong. Anyway, they rode ahead for Glenelg next week. How's this for a humdinger of a footy game? Glenelg versus Port at Alberton. The Bays haven't won there since 1993. They've lost their past 14 trips to the Alberton Oval. Then it's Sturt and Norwood in succession at the Bay.
So there's the ball up in the centre. It went to Douglas. His kick was smothered, though, and it now end up with Hollands. He takes it, and he's inside the centre of broad spectrum. And he now gets the kick looking for Bennett. He did that well. He turned his opponent inside out, and that was Bryce Gibbs. It comes backwards to Dragosevic, who goes inside 50. And in front is Prokopek. Well, he's being held anyway, but was good enough to take the mark. And he'll have a shot from goal around about 30 metres out, directly in front. And West Adelaide going to the southern end of broad spectrum. 18 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central.
Yeah, look, I don't think Mark Micken will be happy with this, because we said before the game this was a game that would determine where the Bays are. They had a chance to really finish off the Bloods. They've taken their foot off the accelerator, and the Bloods are going to line up for their third goal in a row here.
Yeah, well, the Bays are on track for a 100-point victory there for a while. Got out to a 77-point lead. Westies have kicked the last two. And could be a hat-trick for West Adelaide. I mean, as far as a result go, it makes no difference. Percentage, a little bit. Pride for West Adelaide a little bit as Prokopek nails his fourth. So he's played 2 games. He's kicked 4 each. And for a forward, 4 goals a game is a worthy effort. Anyway, it's all over here. Thanks to Black and White Trucks. Let's move it right around the grounds.
22 minutes gone at Prospect North, clinging to their 3-point lead. Andrew Jarman is pacing the sidelines like you wouldn't believe. He's come down from the box and was actually almost standing on the field there at one stage. In the other game, well, it's all the Eagles, 18-10, 118. 6 goals to Bernie Vince. How's that? And Sturt 9-5-59. About 17 minutes into the last term there. Back to broad spectrum over. Where are we seeing a comeback by the Bloods?
Well, we are, but I mean, the horse bolted went out the stable about half an hour ago, probably before that, Big John, as the ball's in the centre, picked up by Backwell, I think it was. Got the kick away off the ground. Chance here for Douglas. He's back on in the fray. Somehow got past his opponent and holding the ball, said the umpire. He said he threw it, in fact, as there's a bit of fisticuffs going on behind the play, but the Bloods have got possession, and it's young Kerr with the footy. He'll go at the centre wing. There's a couple of Bloods. There's three of them there against one Tiger. They were fighting back here on the half-back flank. He wouldn't be happy with that, Mark Micken. The ball up towards the 50-metre area through the hands of Haynes. The Tigers now through Sherwood. As he grabbed high, the ball underneath. He better get it out. The umpire will ping him for holding the sausage roll, but he doesn't. There'll be a ball up inside the 50.
Yeah, so West Adelaide looking for their fourth goal in a row, and certainly the margin is not what Glenelg would have been hoping at three-quarter time, because they really should be thumping West Adelaide, but the last three goals, West Adelaide inching back the margin. All it does is pride, nothing else. There's the kick out from the defensive 50. It clean bowls everybody, ends up with Logan. He then handballs to Backwell, who'll pick it up, and as he does that, he's on centre wing grandstand side. He doesn't go backwards, he goes round in the corner. That's a Smithfield crash clanger, and they're starting to mess around with it, Glenelg. Mark Micken won't like that. Lewis has now got it in the centre square. He booms it forward, and Seller will get in front and take the mark. And certainly doing a few little cute things, Glenelg. But Seller takes the mark, gives to Panozzo, has been outstanding for Glenelg this afternoon. He kicks it on the defensive side of centre, goes towards centre half forward. Getting in front was Reevil, but from behind, Piacente did it well, almost ran into Craig Sapsford, but it didn't matter because Piacente went backwards with the handball to Hamblin. He goes for the kick and finds a McMillan all on his own, because his direct opponent, Panozzo, is miles away with that kick. McMillan goes inside 50. Prokopec in front of Sherwood, almost took a good mark. Willett picking it up athletically, did well. Rebounds from 50 and will find that player in Panozzo. So he's now back with his direct opponent. He dances around him. McMillan, good chase by McMillan, but Panozzo too quick and too small. Has his second bounce now. He's on centre wing outer side. He goes to Ricky, the steamboat Saunders. He's on centre wing and he gets around opponent. Oh, he's finessing, holding the football.
Yeah, but it was fun to watch.
This is really disappointing for Glenelg, because they are starting to layerise and try and show off, and it's not working.
Well, I think he thought he was on the river and going straight down them to Steamboat, but got caught there as the ball comes back in the centre. Out the back, a chance for Benny Moore. He'll get the handball further afield there. He's looking for Douglas. He can't pick up the footy. The Bloods have lifted and the Bays have relaxed as it comes now to Saunders. The handball's wide of its target, though. He's looking for Gibbs. The player out there, there might be, is it Jericho it is with the footy. Has a bounce now. Will run onto the right boot. The lead is on from Big Bonadio. The ball, he can't grab it, though. Here's the chance, though, for the Tigers. They'll bring it out here towards the centre wing, or still in the square in actual fact. Tommy Logan's there. Chance for Ruwalt. And this time the player at the bottom will get the free kick. Didn't happen back there at centre wing as it's picked up by Izard. He'll give it up towards Prokopec. It'd certainly give him something to kick to. Look at this. Is it Hollands inside the 50? It is, and that's the way the footy go. And Ben Hollands will line up for Westie's fourth goal without a reply from the Tigers.
Well, it could be in a scenario where no one's going to leave the Broad Spectrum Oval happy today. Westie's fans, just the humiliation of the third quarter, and the Glenelg fans by a pretty poor fade out in the final. But yeah, and that's sometimes the way that footy works here. And we might, John, this game will probably finish about 8 minutes to 5. Might try and get a quick wrap from Chris Kendall, because sounds like all the excitement is at Prospect this afternoon. But back here at Broad Spectrum, Benny Hollands looking for the Bloods' fourth goal in a row. And Hollands for his first this afternoon aims right and stays right. And it is Glenelg 16-19-115. The Bloods 8-8-56. Very quickly, John, you've got 5 seconds for a score update.
North by 5 at Prospect. Keith Hughes missed 2 straight goals in mid.
Wow, so North Adelaide in front at Prospect. There's the kick out, ends up with Lally, I think it was, who gets the kick away. And only so far as Prokopec, he certainly played a pretty decent game for a forward line player. He's miles away from goal. He goes inside. Oh, goes inside to the 50, and a mark was trying to be taken by Panozzo. Talking about trying to show off and layerise. Well, he jumped high, and a free kick will go to Bonadio. And I would say he'd be a dead set chance to miss this, because he's had a shocking day out.
Well, he's actually going to have a kick, so that in itself, actually, we'll have to get the stats on Bonadio a bit later, because he hasn't had 2 kicks so far. So this kick number 3, and we thank the Glenelg Stats Army.
No marks.
No marks, and a free kick. I mean, there's a virtual army. We're surrounded by Tiger, so we've had to be good to Glenelg this afternoon. Not that it's been particularly hard, I might add, with the scoreboard. But anyway, Bonadio to have a shot. The Bloods looking for 4th goal in succession. Will kick from 40 straight out, the low kick, and again sprayed it. So, I mean, just poor quality of footy in the final quarter. But you're right, it's feast or famine, isn't it? You go for those high marks.
I think it was Jerry
You either
Reid.
take the specky or you give away the free.
Wasn't it Jerry Reid? When you're hot, and when you're not, you're not. Exactly right. And the Tigers have been hot up until now, where they've let Westies in. The ball out there towards that boundary line, and it'll go over in actual fact for a boundary throw-in.
Quick update from Prospect. Thanks, John.
North by 11 points with young Heath Pfeiffer kicking the goal, probably the ceiling goal for the North Adelaide side. 27 minutes gone, final term.
Gee whiz, 27 minutes gone at Prospect. The Roosters by 11 points. So that'd be the biggest upset since Noah discovered a skunk in the arc, I would have thought. As Douglas has got the footy now at half-back on the outer side. He'll bang it towards centre wing. Oh, there's a player pushed out.
Oh,
the umpire can play it on. Gee whiz, he was just pushed fair in the hammer and tack him out of the contest as Westies have got the footy now through Jericho at centre half-back. He'll bring it out here to Vanderloo. He's been a good little player for the Bloods. Marks there and in front of McConnell. He'll centre the ball now. There's all of a sudden the Bloods are running. Hasn't happened all day now as the ball now comes with young Kerr, and he doesn't care. Got through about 2 players, got the handball over to Lewis. Coach East with the footy. He gets it back now to Izard. Izard has gone one handball too many, has he? Yes, he has, because now Logan pounces on the footy. A turnover could be costly now because McConnell's got it. Look at this, there's a player in Reeville at centre half forward. Up they go. Oh, that'll be a free kick if he doesn't get the mark. No, the umpire said it was okay as Craig Sapford had the ball almost momentarily. Come to Izard. Went to have a kick and had a hairy. Had an hairy as well as it comes now to Ruwald, who goes forward, and there'll be a free kick downfield because he got thumped after he got rid of the footy. Will he be brought back to have the kick?
We mentioned that kick in that Craig Sapford. He didn't look at the ball. I'm sure he didn't look at the ball, so how that wasn't a free kick initially is beyond me, but it's going to come back, and it's not down the field. The Bows will have a shot from about 50.
Yes, and it'll be the player who propelled it forward there in young Ruwald, and he'll go back and line up from right on the 50, boys.
And in fact, he will hand pass on to Mitchell. Mitchell will go bang to the Burley from 51. He clears everything. And at long last, the Tigers have another goal, and the Snouts raise a cheer. And that is Mitchell's first for this afternoon. Glenelg 17-19. The Bloods 8 goals, 9. And let's go back to Johnny for an update.
Still 11 points the margin in favour of North Adelaide at Prospect. 29.5 gone, final term. In the other game, Sturt are being thumped by the Eagles by 65 points. I said Bernie Vince kicking 6 goals. In the AFL, Melbourne defeated Fremantle by 59 points, and Sydney walloped Richmond by 118 points.
So back here at Broad Spectrum, so good players from the Crows playing well at local level. Bernie Vince kicking 6, Marek kicking a couple for Port, and Richard Douglas has put on a clinic today. So the ball up ends up with Backwell, who goes by hand to Logan. Logan's got some attention by Vanderloo, so has to go backwards to McConnell. McConnell goes this way, and that round Vanderloo. The hand pass was clever and finds Logan. He's outside 50. He's going inside 50, looking for a leading target, but it's not going to work, and it was a poor option, Dennis Brown, and it's gone out of bounds inside the forward 50. It is in the northwestern pocket of Broad Spectrum Oval. Grand Central says we've gone 27 minutes. The Bay 17-19, West Adelaide 8-9.
One thing about Mitchell's goal, the 11th goal scorer for the Tigers this afternoon.
Certainly had a number of them, haven't they? As the ball is tossed back into play, if they'd kick straight, they might have had even more. As Benny Moore, speaking of more, Benny ran into it and almost went away with it. But now he's lost it. Here's a chance for Douglas to pick it up. He's got the handball away. Oh, beautiful interception there by young Kerr, but now he's lost it. Comes to Ruwald. Ruwald to go over the top. Chance for Reeville. Goes to centre half forward. Almost a mark there, now picked up and bombed forward by McConnell. He just took that.
He could have been number 12.
Yeah, maybe he hasn't got a left boot because he was on the right side to kick it with his left foot, but opted to go with the right foot and missed. So the ball now back into play quickly, ends up with Piasante. He'll bring it out here to Craig Sapford. He's got the ball. Handball's now over to the player there in Lewis, I think, is it? Who goes, that's a great mark to Paul Sherwood over the top. And no, in fact, it was the player there for Westies. It was Oswald. As it comes now to Seller up towards half forward. Almost a mark there to McConnell, but the ball ricochets off and out of bounds. Half forward playing grandstand side.
A reminder on RPH Football, we get a day off tomorrow to have fun on Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day to all the mums out there. We're back on deck 7:30 for the SANFL wrap on Monday. Wednesday 7 till 8, the midweek football show. And don't forget the league team show will announce the PDK Player of the Year votes 8 p.m. each Thursday night. As the siren goes to wrap up, pretty forgettable final quarter. The Bays took a 60-point three-quarter time lead and have won here by 65.